Hello everyone, it's Tuesday, so that means we're streaming. I'm Money Black Mage and we are playing 13 Sentinels Aegis Reign. How's everybody doing tonight? Getting really close to New Year's Eve. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Golden, Zaf, how's it going? Godslayer, thanks for joining chat. How's it going? Gonna win, you got it. Almost done with Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm still gonna call it Yakuza 7. I mean, it's what it's called in Japan. Nice, nice, nice. How long will it take me to beat Hades and make it into a recap? See, I got Hades when it first came out, and then one thing came after another, and I still haven't put time into it. And it really bothers me because I just keep seeing so many accolades, so many people loving it. It got nominated for so many awards. It won, which major site gave it Game of the Year? Was it Game Informer? Or IGN? I think it was Game Informer. Either Game Informer or IGN gave Hades Best Game of the Year. I'm very curious too, because I want to play it and then rate it myself. Whenever I hear so much good buzz about something, though, I'm always nervous because, you know, it's like I just want to go in. I don't want it to be tainted. I want to form my own opinions, and I'm, you know, when I post my opinions, I just can't help but think it's like, oh man, I really hope it's not something where people are just so blinded by their love of this because of what the publisher has done before that was really good quality. It's like, oh, they did Bastion and Hyper Light Drifter and all these other games. All their games are excellent. Blah blah blah. Does it stack up to the hype? Doom, are you ever gonna do a recap on the Dragon Age franchise? Probably not. Dragon Age and Mass Effect are kind of in the same boat where they're very open-ended narratives and they don't adhere to one specific route. It's more about the player choice and having the world reflect your story and plot progression. Yes, there are major points that no matter what you play, you're going to hit those major points. But to me, that meat in the middle of the sandwich is just as important as the beginning and the end. Especially when you do a recap, because what else are you supposed to fill it with? Like many of those other type of titles that have very emergent narratives, it just doesn't fit the formula. I love Dragon Age. I tolerated Dragon Age 2. And that's the thing that irritated me the most about Dragon Age 2, is that all my choices didn't matter. The same things happened regardless, and that really annoyed me. Plus, I don't want to have to go through all of the different routes and playthroughs. I did that for the first one. I didn't want to do that again for any of them, as much as I love the first Dragon Age. Kalama, Ragna, Niners. How's it going tonight? Jax, how's it going? Hope you're doing great. However, there are a lot of games on my backlog Battlefield that I want to get through, such as, yes, I want to play Hades, but I want to play Hades on my own. Hades looks like those type of games that I want to concentrate on, so I wouldn't play it in front of a live audience. I probably will play Ghost of Tsushima next, since that game was also nominated for Game of the Year. So, unlike normal, we cannot start with a battle just yet, because we are story locked for now. So it's going to be a story-heavy beginning. We're just going to ease into this. Speaking of Tomy, let's start with Tomy. Have you ever played the Clock Tower games? Yes, I have, Niner. I absolutely have. Clock Tower is actually one of the games I want to talk about.
In a word, yes, but
maybe when I'm done with Resident Evil.
Off somewhere near the school. Guy named Sekigahara.
I'm almost caught up with Resident Evil. I only have to do Resident Evil 3 remake, and then I'm basically caught up. That's actually one of the ones I have planned very soon for the very short recaps coming out. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we do here.
Anyway, it seems like we've got a way home. It's 1985?
Hey Gallagher, how's it going today?
Really?
Eating dinner? Nice.
We came here to get you. You ready? Yeah.
Ah, don't be sad, Doom. Know that I love Dragon Age, and when Dragon Age 4 eventually comes out, you bet your butt I'm gonna play it.
Stick with me, okay? Let's head to the school.
Because I loved Inquisition.
There's a huge crater by the school.
That's where we're going.
Oh, really?
Hopefully no Terminators show up this time, speaking of the devil.
Is this that robot you were talking about? That's weird. Wasn't there more than one android here?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
I still think there's something weird with Miwako, and the fact that Miwako is joining us right now, I think we're going to get a revelation surrounding her. Because there's been weird stuff happening around her for the longest. It's kind of like Shiba early on, where Shiba was very suspicious, but we didn't know the depth of that iceberg. There's something weird about Miwako. We don't know what it is, but I get the feeling we're going to find out, especially since she's joining us now.
Ryoko-san, so you still don't remember? They're taking advantage of your hazy memory.
Stop this. Get him. 426. Your time is up.
Travis, are you eventually going to do a recap on this? Yes, I very likely will. Since it's a pretty straightforward story, it's just told in a very disjointed way deliberately. But it is a point A to point B story at the end of the day. So I think it fits the recap format pretty well. Hopefully, by the way, I can get Valkyrie Profile 2 done by, I would like tomorrow, but it most likely will probably be Thursday. Either way, it's going to be within this month. It will not be the first week of next month. It will be this month. Although technically this week is the first week of the month, since January is Friday.
What's the report?
Identified evidence of activity. A human likely utilized a crane to descend.
Sounds like Ryoko-san's gone ahead. Secure the crane. Don't let her lock it up.
What would you say is more mind-bogglingly confusing, Blaze Blue or Kingdom Hearts? See, this may sound weird, but I don't view Kingdom Hearts as like mind-boggling confusing. It's not. It's very complicated. It has a lot of characters that serve multiple roles, but it's not confusing per se. You just have to keep track of a lot of pieces on the board. But everybody pretty much does just one thing. And the thing that I don't like about it is that because they speak with such interchanging pronouns, and they have huge plot holes in each of the game, they can write in
300 meters.
information in a later game and then act like it's not a retcon because of very short-sighted writing in the previous game. They deliberately leave giant holes in the writing to fill in later if they so choose, which I don't particularly like, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily make it more confusing, it just makes it more complicated. It also leads to a lot of misinformation and a lot of speculation. Hence the ever so popular fan theorizing in there, which I dislike.
What's on your mind?
That guy just now. Are you sure he's safe to be around? He has a gun.
Yeah. We don't have much of a choice.
Hey Sam, how's it going today? Blaze Blue, I feel, is the same way. It deals with a lot of characters So it's, I don't know if I'd even call it complicated. I haven't paid attention to the recent games to see if they threw any curveballs, but first few games it's kind of straightforward. It just gets bigger and bigger on itself with layers, kind of like Kingdom Hearts does.
Let's go.
Just have to keep track of a lot of characters.
Wait for us.
And Blaze Blue, yeah, Gideon, you're right. Blaze Blue throws a ton of terms around. You have to have a glossary. I don't think it's as bad as Under Night Rebirth, but it's up there. Under Night Rebirth has
What in
its
the
own
fresh
glossary
hell
of
is
just
this?
nonsense terms. Kingdom Hearts is trying to make an RPG out of a kid's universe. I would actually disagree, because it's not really Disney movies with Final Fantasy like they originally advertised. It's Tetsuya Nomura characters going inside curated versions of Disney movies, and the most recent one was curated Pixar movies.
This is too much for me. You gonna be okay? I'm not good with heights. I didn't realize just how
The fact that she's in the spaceship means something's gonna happen.
I thought I was going to die.
Look! The same kind of gadgets we saw in that dead kaiju. They're all over the damn place. Almost like we're in the belly of the boss. Looks like something out of a movie set.
Aiken,
You recognize me?
why am I here? Why are you here?
Looks like you got some memories back. Do you have your pills?
Not anymore. I'm all out.
Hang on a little longer. We need to get back to 1985. Miura, help me out. The pills are in Sector 4.
I think I was a little icon of himself on his little screen.
Is she okay?
She will be. I was worried for a moment, but she seems to be fine for now.
What happened to her? Is she ill?
An incident occurred during our fight in the Sentinels. From that point on, we began having memory issues. Unfortunately, someone's been taking advantage of
Kingdom
that.
Hearts 3 is actually a recap I need to do
Her
since
condition is far
they've
more
already had
serious
another
than
game
mine.
come out, Melody of Memories.
She can't
So
prevent
there's
it.
definitely absolutely no extra DLC
In any
coming out
case,
for 3. I thought they
looks
would have
like
done
we
more
can
DLC
travel
for
to
3.
1985
I
without issue.
honestly, sincerely thought so.
It'll be ready soon.
And it ended up not being the case.
Just wait here for a moment.
I thought they were going to do Radiant Garden and see all the Final Fantasy characters. It's like, hey, Tetsuya Nomura Final Fantasy made characters. Oh, you were all here the entire time. Oh yeah, for some reason the darkness did dark things, and we were just trapped
This
here
machine.
in the darkness.
Is Morimura using it too?
She's the reason we're able to use it at all. This functionality was her handiwork.
What could this be? Oops. Sorry.
What's going on?
Please, respond. This is number 16.
Number 16. That's the one who's been missing. Is everything okay?
We finally got through. Kisaragi, what are your coordinates?
Kisaragi? That's...
My current location is unknown. My Sentinel, and even myself. I don't know what condition we're in.
And it's gone as suddenly as it appeared.
I think it's weird the screens are like 8 feet tall.
Sentinel number 16 went completely off the radar after that incident I mentioned. What did you do? How did you make contact?
All I did was poke this thing.
I mean, that's her last name too.
That voice from the TV screen. Didn't it kind of sound like you?
You think so? Hey, just now, Did you call that person Kisaragi?
Kisaragi is the control system for Sentinel number 16.
Why do we have the same name?
Because she is you. Rather, a different you.
I get it now. Tomi Kisaragi. It's your biometric ID.
The line of communication opened due to her ID being authenticated.
Give it another try.
And poke.
Kisaragi, please respond.
If you're there, answer us.
I managed to connect to the system and determine my location. The answer is troubling.
Oh?
I'm outside the world.
What does that mean?
This place is not recognized in any era. This is bad. I'm being denied access to all sectors. It's universal control. It's trying to get rid of me. At this rate, It just closes right away now.
It's still chirping though.
What's this universal thing?
Universal control. It's here, where the primary gate is housed. This underground mainframe monitors the world.
Her location. It appears the mainframe does not want us to know.
Looks that way.
Oh wait, there's 2 streams showing up? Oh, weird. Yeah, it says there's an upcoming one. I'm just gonna delete that. That's weird. I hope I didn't accidentally kill the wrong stream. Thanks, Brooks, for pointing that out. I have no idea. I must have misclicked something. Sorry for the confusion. I hope I didn't drive off anyone else who also was coming and is like, there's nobody here and there's nothing going on. Oops, I hope I didn't make anyone else mad. My apologies for wasting your time. I'm sorry. Completely unintentional.
It just closed. This is bad! The androids are coming!
Shit! They're over here too.
Stop. The command's not working.
Manual override.
We need to shift. Gather close. Now!
Initiating shift.
This is...
What if we go to the dumpster if we see the dead body? Oh.
I know this shrine. It's by the school.
Sweet! You hear that, Miwako? We're almost home. Miwako?
Dun dun dun.
We're missing Miwako.
What? Wasn't she right next to you?
Miwako! We must have left her behind. Let's go back. It's no use. She's not like us.
here, everyone in the city, we're all managed by that computer underground. Isn't that right, Akun?
To make sure no one impacts this world. To make sure no one finds out the truth. Universal Control pulls the strings. Behind the scenes, it handles our lives as it sees fit. It must have determined that she was an inconvenience to this world. She knew too much.
Well, well.
Is that the one we needed? No, we need terraforming. Alright. Watch it be part of like the master control program anyway. And Miyuko is just part of this artificial environment in all the ages anyway. But unlike Shiba, who's just like a nanomachine virus, everybody can interact with her because all these people are fake too. That's why they can magically be rescued during disaster crises and nobody unimportant dies.
Usami-chan, I've been meaning to tell you. I found a cafe with some amazing looking cakes.
What's pig out?
Shall we go there after school? That's the same thing you said before we left. Hmm? You've been acting strange today. Oh yeah, we went way deep underground. You were freaking out. You've got to remember that, right? Underground? You mean the downstairs food court at the mall? No.
Awfully suspicious.
We went to the ruined future. You really don't remember? You said that this morning, too. I've never heard of ruined future. What kind of shop is it? Alright, Miyuko. Tell it to me straight. In the last few days, did anything big happen?
Not food related.
Anything at all? The last few days? Let's see. Something big. Oh, I know. You remember? 3 days ago, we moved classrooms from the old building to the new one. That was so sudden. I could hardly believe it. Is that not it?
Hold on, it's really warm in my room right now. For some strange reason, it's almost New Year's and it's super warm. I'm going to turn on my squeaky fan and hopefully it won't squeak too much. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay.
You seem disappointed. I'm sorry.
I don't have it on oscillation, so it shouldn't be so
Not your
squeaky.
fault.
So between my squeaky fan and my squeaky chair, hopefully it's not squeaking so much.
This girl. New building, same old sleepyhead. She doesn't remember a thing about what just happened. That's not something you can just forget. It's more like
Can hardly hear it all.
memories
Thanks. Good.
were rewritten. As if she never went there at all. The school marked us absent those days. But she's acting like she's been here the whole time. It's
I want somebody to
crazy.
say awfully suspicious.
Did that underground computer do this? Hey, I'm glad you remember at least.
Interesting. So before, Nenji was trapped in this Matrix 3 subway system, doomed to always repeat until he got the key, which is him. And now she's actually, well, I mean, there goes to school there anyway. So I guess Nenji, I mean, maybe this is the real one. This wouldn't be Nenji's fake one.
Miwako has no memory of the whole ordeal. To her, it's like
I wonder if I
nothing
go to
ever
the far
happened.
left if watching will be there and
Shimonome
gets asked it.
Senpai. She doesn't even remember my face.
So that's what Sekigahara meant about being managed. Damn.
Grax, hey, how's it going tonight? Thanks for joining chat. Hope you're having a good evening.
If that's true, then everyone here's in the same boat, right? My mom? The people of my city? Maybe they're all hidden somewhere, being monitored. It all comes down to that underground computer. I bet it has the answers.
Is that a Diaz voice actor from Bravely Default? Oh, you know what? It does sound very similar. I wonder. That's a good catch. That really does sound just like her. Is it her? Somebody summon up to Google and find that out.
I'm gonna go back there.
What? Dude, are you crazy? The place is crawling with androids.
I'm pretty good at hiding.
Dumbass, you'll die. Besides,
It is? Oh,
how the hell
cool.
do you plan on getting there?
Good catch.
If we use the gate again, we can return to that era.
Do you even know how?
I don't think.
Congrats, you're having a good
Morimura would be
evening.
much
Just
help.
found out your boss doesn't want you coming into
And
work
Shimonome
because you come into
Senpai?
contact with someone who's come into
She was
contact with
looking
someone
at
who's
me
COVID.
real
So the tracers found
suspiciously.
you. Well, hopefully you
I know.
have
Sekigahara
failed that
can.
COVID test
I'll
and
find
aren't
him
worried
and
about it yourself.
Calm down. Just think about it for a sec. You really want to mess with that thing? Shit's dangerous.
Make sure to turn off all the 5G
You
in your
know.
house.
If you get stranded again, you might be stuck for good.
And then make sure your tap is
I
on
guess when you
drip
put
so
it
that way
like
it doesn't
that.
freeze at night.
Maybe you've got a point.
And
I
make sure
should
you eat
slow
enough iron
down
from
and
your
think a
vegetables.
little. But still. Now that I think about it, why do you care? Don't tell me. You're worried about me that much? Am I really
No.
that important to you?
Oh, shut up. Go ahead and die for all I care. It's just, I'd feel pretty shitty being the one who let you do it.
Huh. So that's how it is. So what? You want me to just sit on my ass until something happens?
I get it, alright? We'll think of something together. Just don't go rushing off on your own.
Yep, there's Wajima.
Well, look what we got here. Ogata, most punchable face in the city. I think it's about time we
He took a
settled
long way
our
around.
shit.
Hey now! Come on, you're fighting again? Stop that!
Hey, stay out of this, idiot.
What do we got here? Don't tell me this little bitch is your girl. Didn't know you were into elementary schoolers. That's messed up, man.
The hell did you just say? You wanna say that again? Say it to my face. Come on!
Hey, stop it!
That's only a taste of what you deserve, asshole.
Eli, is this game only on PC? Well, I think it's on PS4. I thought it was on PC. But either way, I'm playing on PS4.
Whatever you want.
Is it on Switch? I don't think it's on Switch. Or at least not in the West. It might be in Japan. Guess we don't have a choice.
Waiting around like this. We'll think of something together.
You're right. Keep your word next time, dummy.
Brutal.
Another day, another waste of time. There has to be a gate here somewhere. Was it all just a weird dream? Oh, stop it, me. If I start to doubt myself, it's
Cracks,
all
found your
over.
channel for your recaps on Final
got a lot
Fantasy
more
because you're too
investigating to
lazy
do.
to play the games yourself. I mean, at least you're honest. And I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even trying to throw shade that way. I'm glad that you're trying to take an interest in Final Fantasy. Because Final Fantasy is, as you noticed, just the mainline games alone, a pretty long and tenured series. And none of the games have anything to do with each other. So some people feel pressure to kind of dip into one and check out all the others. And then I hope you haven't run into anybody in the fan base who's like, oh, well, you know, if you're a fan, then you have to play this installment and this installment. Don't play this installment, blah, blah. Don't listen to them. Check out all of them. All of the Final Fantasies are good for different reasons, and a lot of them have problems for different reasons. For better or for worse, each game tries something different,
The gate was
and it
right
hits a different
here.
audience, both good and
If
bad
I
and
stand
indifferent.
here,
And so that's what's
I
cool
should be
about it,
able to go
is that if you
back.
don't like one installment,
At
even
least
if it's one that maybe some of your
that's what
friends
I
over the
think.
internet likes, it's okay,
What do I do to
because
get
there
it to
are
show
30
up?
other Final Fantasies to choose from. You don't have to love all of them. It's like picking off a restaurant menu. You don't have to love everything in that restaurant. Just because you're like, oh man, I like Italian food. You don't have to love everything on that freaking menu. It's okay. You can still say you like Italian food and just like some dishes. It's okay. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Think for yourself. Every Final Fantasy fanboy will tell you 5 is the worst. Man, whatever. You're right. If somebody says that, don't trust them. That is sketch.
Maybe there's a switch somewhere. Huh? Whoa!
Here we are, 1985. Do you know what you have to do?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I'd be questioning my sanity. It's so absurd, my head's going to burst.
You can head back and rest up.
Okay, no.
Don't worry, I won't be going anywhere. I just need to ensure Chihiro Morimura doesn't find out. Time to pull a few tricks on the gate and cover our tracks.
See you.
I saw that.
I like how startled Okino was just there. Just like, I'm gonna start typing. All of a sudden, this girl just comes out of somewhere and just says, I saw that! And you're like, oh my god. Startled me. That was funny to me. But, you got mad hate on 4chan for loving Final Fantasy V? Well, your problem was being on 4chan, my friend. And having an independent opinion that didn't resonate with their echo chamber. It's so funny that such a force of chaos such as 4chan, who allegedly values literally everything and advocates pretty much everything, including like Nazism and cannibalism, just downs on any video game. That is nuts to me. So you like the Kingdom Hearts games? If you haven't done a recap on Kingdom Hearts games, you should, and figure you check out the Final Fantasy, because, you know, well, you're in luck, Grax. Kingdom Hearts was actually the very first video I made for the recap series. So yeah, if you go to my main page, please do, once you have the time to. And right there, under the major playlist, you should see the playlist for, you know, not just Final Fantasy, but right next to it, Kingdom Hearts. And yeah, check them out. Now, Kingdom Hearts is a series where you should at least experience the story of every single one, because every ensuing installment plays off information off every single one. And with Kingdom Hearts, despite what anyone says, they're all essential. All of them, except for maybe Recoded, offer information that is somehow tied later into the series. So that is a series that you do need to watch, and my playlist is in chronological order, so hopefully that helps you.
So, you there. You seem to be able to access the gate.
Who are you?
Tomi Kisaragi. And you are...
Final Fantasy 13 used to get the most flack. It changes with generation to generation. 10 years ago, that probably was true. But these days, you don't really hear people talk about it, except as like a meme.
Won't you do something for me? You don't have
Because
much of a
13 is just
choice.
one of 3 games. And the other 2 games are actually pretty good. But most people don't want to talk about that because they want to keep perpetuating this urban myth that, oh, 13 is really, really bad and blah, blah, blah. And yes, there were some undesirable design things in there. And yes, the story is kind of sloppily told. But the overall package, it's not bad. It really isn't. Alright, so we can't progress her until we progress Shu. Alright, we're getting up there.
Cool.
Doesn't Recoded retcon itself at a certain point of the game? No. Well, yes, actually, kind of does. Because the only retcon that goes by is it just explains what happened to Sora's nobody. The entirety of Recoded's significance is that Ansem the Wise stored all his digital data inside Sora's heart. That's it. If you want the 1 sentence 30-second recap, that's it. That's the entire significance of that game. The rest of the game is entirely forgettable, and it talks about what happened to Sora's nobody, like anybody cared. I thought it was a cool twist, but that game, in my opinion, is the weakest of all of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yuki, wish I could back in. Well, it's not just our names. He and I are totally different people. In the way Miyuki Inaba tells it, those dreams weren't from the future like I thought they were.
But yeah, I've enjoyed all of the Kingdom Hearts games in some variety.
The way she describes it.
And I enjoyed all the Final Fantasies. To me, the weakest Final Fantasy is 2. And it's ironic because I love my favorite character in the entire series in 2. And the reason why is very simple. It's because it uses the Saga leveling system, and I do not like the Saga leveling system. If you don't have to slog through that variety of leveling, just the entire way through gimping you, it's rough.
Nope, not here.
It's also probably the least intuitive when it comes to that whole where do I go next idea of design. Sometimes it's kind of straightforward, but that one, especially since it uses its keyword system, if you don't talk to a person with the right keyword,
well,
and which means you're going to be going and asking everybody every single keyword to get a clue on where you're supposed to go, you're just going to be lost. There's just so much that bogs 2 down. The original 2 to me was just such a chore. Now, the Game Boy remake was much better. Much more playable. If you play any version, play the Game Boy one. The one with Donna Souls in it.
Sorry.
Play that version.
I'm kind of in a hurry.
Oh, it's cool.
But otherwise, 2, in my opinion, is the weakest installment.
Oh, nothing. See ya.
There's a lot of like in there.
Seems like
But, you
something's
know,
up with him.
Final Fantasy overall is a very, very
He's figured
strong
something out,
franchise. That's why what's weak for it is not it's not really a bad thing. If somebody says like the worst Final Fantasy games, like the worst games on the planet, that means that person is just used to eating like grade A meat constantly, and they have no
Maybe I need some
context.
fresh air.
What is this? Okay, we can go different places. It's like when people who were like, "Oh, I love all RPGs. Which RPGs have you played?" And they list like Final Fantasy
Maybe.
and
Maybe
Kingdom
I
Hearts
should just go
maybe, or a
public.
couple other
Lay
things like I don't know,
everything
they
out
want to
in
be
the
cool,
open.
so they say something like Xenogears or something. I don't know.
I guess I could
And I'm like,
record
okay,
Miyuki and Aba
what
talking
about?
to me. Send that tape out to
It's like,
TV
do you play anything else
stations.
other than that? It's like, oh well, you know, I also play like the Mana series or maybe Persona. I'm like, okay, what else? Keep in mind, I'm not talking about like most people. I'm talking about that smug friend you have who plays a couple of RPGs and thinks they know everything about the genre. And he's like, okay, well, what about Suikoden? What about Phantasy Star? What about Breath of Fire? What about Tales of? What about Shadow Hearts? What about Legend of Heroes? What about Mana? What about Parasite Eve? What about Shin Megami Tensei? What about Disgaea? What about Wild Arms? You know, what about Legend of Legaia? What about Legend of Dragoon? What about Fire Emblem? What about Atelier? What about Arc the Lad? It's like, there are so many RPGs, and they do so many different things, and they're all good for different reasons. Unless you have a much wider scope of things, don't play a couple of franchises and think you're freaking God's gift to RPGs. Man, you get some smug people. Money backflip, money backflip. How's it going, Shadows?
What's got you so spaced out?
Amiguchi. Just got shit on my mind.
The people who only exist in the
What about
Final
you?
Fantasy
You look
sub-universe
like hell.
and play those
been
games to
weighing you down.
death, I both admire but more
say that.
pity. Because it's impressive you can spend and devote so much time to one franchise and at the same time exclude hundreds of other adventures, worlds, ideas, storytelling formats, battle systems, and characters. It is staggering to me the bigger world that you are choosing to deny yourself. That's why I tell people the best thing you can do is just have variety.
Hey, remember when I skipped school for a few days?
What about it?
Yeah, I actually spent those days.
Should you
stranded
recap
in
yourself on the
another
rest of the
time.
series before playing Dissidia? Nah.
Stuck in the future.
You could check out the other 2 Dissidias,
Well,
which I actually do
me,
plan on
I'd
doing
go
a
with a more
recap of. I
plausible
haven't done it
excuse
yet,
for ditching.
but I will do the other
Yeah,
Dissidias.
that's about what I figured. So, what's going on with you?
Huh? Oh. You know that pop star, Miyuki and Aba? She's been showing up in my room every night. I don't know what to do.
Well, if you're gonna make me feel stupid for asking.
Yeah, that's about what I figured. Oh, I totally forgot.
What's up?
Yakushiji-san from Class 1C.
We had this scene so
Said she
long
wanted to
ago
talk to me today.
from Megumi
Said
side.
she'd find me up here.
This shit again? Sheesh. Sometimes you're real annoying to be friends with.
For a while, I completely
I'll
forgot
just
that
get
she
out of your
was
way
friends
then.
with Minji.
Again?
Oh, just stuff from middle school. Girls used to confess their love to me in front of him all the time. Oh, wow. Is that what this is about? I'm sorry. Really, I've got feelings for someone else.
That's not what I came here to tell you.
Oh, sorry. Awkward. So, what do you need?
No need to apologize.
Okay, and that's why one of the reasons why some people say turn-based combat is boring. I can understand that.
Mission accomplished.
Sentinel number 20.
At the same time, you could turn around and point to many action games that have very boring combat. You see, the issue isn't nice. I almost forgot what the G4 units look like.
What is this? Where am I? Wait a minute. Is this the robot I saw in my dreams?
Because the issue isn't that it's turn-based combat, or the fact that it's action or real-time combat. It's not. Trust me, there are plenty of action games with very boring combat.
Launch point looks to be Yai-Machi.
The issue is not the format, the issue is the implementation. There have been turn-based combats that provide very interesting ways of doing its own combat. Just like there have been many interesting and good ways of implementing action combat. It's not about that. It's not about that particular format. If somebody wants to just completely wipe and just make a generalized statement saying, "Oh, all the turn-based combat is just the same boring crap. It's just a chess game," blah blah blah. Which, by the way, it is a chess game. That's what they're all based off of. But they turn around and be like, "Action combat's better," blah blah. I can point to you 50 action games that have boring as hell. Press X to just punch a dude in the face, same ass combat. It is so dull. And I could point to you with 50 turn-based combats that are boring as hell. It's not the format, it's the implementation. If somebody had a bad exposure to one implementation and then thinks that they're all like that, that is unfortunate. It is also misinformed. Now we're in space. I love the way they're getting these angles done with the cinematography using just, you know, basically hand-painted sprites. This is amazing.
Altitude reading says 2,078 meters.
You've bypassed the upper shield. You are now outside the enclosure.
I'm outside the wall now? So, outside that, it's just space? What does all this mean? I saw a lot of these huge
If you want an example of action games that are very, very boring with their combat, I'm going to do Exhibit 1 through 20. Actually, probably 1 through 50. I can literally make up using just... And this is going to be a throwback to an argument I made on a previous stream, which is almost 99% of all of the Marvel license-based games over the past decade. 99% of them are boring as hell action games. So you go play those games. You go play those movie licensed action games with those amazing Marvel like licensed characters that people love so much. And you go play those and you turn around and tell me, "Oh dude, this action is hot. I love it."
Go back how? This thing's got propellers. Whoa! We're going down!
Like Nier Automata, God of War, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, you know, Batman Arkham. They ain't got nothing on those games. Nothing. Those combat systems are a joke. These watered-down movie license games, that's where all the real deal is. Action games, man. Just all action.
Hey, it's Yuki-chan. I knew it. It's like I keep saying, we gotta be soulmates. Good timing, too. Kinda hoped I'd see you one more time before I died.
How dramatic.
You're seriously still talking this crap even now? Is that thing yours?
Sentinel number 20, transmitting.
It's gone.
I'm just glad I didn't crash somewhere with people.
You gotta tell me what happened.
We'll
Oh,
take over
interesting.
from here.
He's about to meet himself.
Of all possible pilots, I'd never have expected you. Shu Amiguchi.
Four Eyes.
Hey Cyril, how's it going tonight?
We're agents with the government. Allow me to be direct. Cooperate with us and I can guarantee your safety. If not, you will be institutionalized.
Hold on. I think chat disconnected for a second. Alright. Okay, good. Like, I get it when LEGO games do the Mash X to win, because it's a simple LEGO game. It can be played from anyone age 9 to age 90, and you can still have fun. And honestly, many of those LEGO games are really good. I actually really like LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Jurassic Park. LEGO Marvel is very, very popular.
You know something? I really
But yeah,
hate
like
being knocked
ATB
out.
isn't the beginning and end of all the Final
Especially
Fantasy
from guys
combat.
like
A
you.
lot of Final Fantasies have very different
I'm gonna
combat
get you.
systems, even though many of them can be considered
You know this
turn-based.
guy?
Because 1
She
is not
a
like
member
2,
of our organization.
2 is not quite the same as 3,
You were part of her
3
assignment.
implements things different than 4,
She
4
was
and 5
sent
are
to
kind of
monitor
similar, same thing for
pilots like you.
6.
That's why she was transferred to Sakura High School.
No way.
Actually, once they introduced the ATB
Just kidding.
formalized in 4, it did kind of stick with that formula for a bit. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9
I suggest you cooperate.
all kind of play the
Shoot,
same
I'll get you.
pace. Different mechanics, but they kind of have the
For
same
your
rhythm.
sake, if nothing else.
10 changed things up. Then 11, 12, 13, the 13 games, 14, 15, and upcoming 16. Each one of those are very different. I like to point out to people too, and people are like, Final Fantasy should go back to being turn-based. Final Fantasy hasn't been turn-based for over 10 years. Actually, close to 20 years. If that makes you feel old. Since Final Fantasy X, which was almost 20 years ago, you haven't had a turn-based Final Fantasy.
Let's go. All right.
Like, there's been a generation of people that grew up and got old enough to vote and never played a turn-based Final Fantasy game. You can't hold that against them.
Those government spooks are keeping an eye on me. At this
But
rate,
things like Bravely
just
Default,
take
and
me
I liked
away
Final
and
Fantasy
nobody
X's
would
implementation of
ever know.
turn-based too, when there is a reason why it has to be turn-based for the way you want your combat to be, then it's interesting. If you're just turn-based for the sake of being turn-based, it's going to be boring. Just like action, if there is some reason why your combat works better being action, then it works that way. I want to give you an example that might be controversial to some people, but I think most people aren't going to get it. Not Valkyrie Profile. I'm recapping that, so I got confused. Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story is an RPG that tries to be action and should not have gone that way. They just tried to force a turn-based combat system on an action format, and it is clunky and clumsy. So they tried forcing something that was clearly not natural for it. Parasite Eve did the same thing. Not natural. If it was turn-based, like it clearly was obviously designed to be, would have been
Not here
smoother.
today.
But instead we get a very awkward, quote-unquote, real-time combat system with turn-based elements. And it's just clumsy.
Not here today. You check it back in. Would it even wait? So she was watching me this whole time on behalf of that shady outfit? Is that why she approached me at
But
all?
games like, say, Octopath
Yuki-chan.
Traveler or
No.
Bravely
wait.
Default, there's a purpose
I'm the
for their
one who approached
turn-based
her.
nature, and so because of that, they're
And
very
she has to
interesting
keep an
games.
eye on me? Well, hey, maybe this isn't so bad after all.
Being turn-based for the sake of turn-based is lazy. Being action for the sake of action is also lazy. It's not all of one and all of another. It's not black and white like that.
So she's been monitoring me this whole time? She's actually some Secret Service government spy? That's crazy. Also, not gonna lie, weirdly hot.
And yeah, like Persona is another one where there's a purpose for their action economy. And even though the overall game franchise turn system hasn't really changed all that much, it knows what it's doing. It does it fairly well. So that's why most Shin Megami / Persona games are perfectly fine in their niche. Dragon Quest II, and I don't mean just Dragon Quest II, I mean Dragon Quest in general.
Shukun.
Dragon Quest can have very challenging spurts of their combat, where if you waste your turn, it's bad. Shadow Hearts is a great example, by the way, only because of the Judgment Wheel. If they did not use the Judgment Wheel, Shadow Hearts would have had lame combat. That judgment wheel makes all the difference. Judgment ring, I'm sorry. Because you have not only risk and reward, but you can potentially flub your entire turn and lose it. It makes every spin crucial. And that interactive element is all the better for it. Because you can really, based on your skill, really rack up some bonuses. So Shadow Hearts is a good example.
Here now. He's going to try to have me eliminated.
What?
Have a good night, Grax.
Wait, what do you mean, eliminated? There's so much I still don't get here. I need a real explanation.
I know. But I had to hack my way in to reach you. My connection won't last long.
Back in that dream, he called it. We look at. Well, it's he and I. When you say he, you mean Tetsuya Ida?
Yes,
Why is he after you?
because I'm helping you. I was right. He's trying to reset Project Arc.
He wants to reset it. What would that do?
The world would be destroyed by kaiju. Everything will be gone. They want to start over. They want to restart this world from the beginning. They've done it before. And a reset means you would be erased too.
So you have to wonder, Miki Inaba, because, you know, she's probably Tomi Kisaragi from the other world, but is she actually real, or is this just the version of her they made for this system?
You're talking about kaiju now?
Because, you know, Tomi in her other timeline, or maybe it was Shu's visit, where it was like, oh, because, you know, he loved her when she was like a small-time YouTube idol, and she was like, oh, yeah, well, you were my biggest fan to help encourage me to keep going, and blah, blah, blah.
So it's just space beyond the enclosure walls. That means we're in some huge spaceship, right? Why does all of this exist? Why cover up the truth?
There's a supercomputer hidden below your town. We call it Universal Control. It has led you to believe you live in Japan.
The only payo.
In a certain historical era.
Why?
Games like Final Fantasy X, 12,
Possibly to make your
Nocturne,
lives
nail
easier.
turn-based combat. Yeah, there are a lot of games that nail turn-based combat because they have purpose to them. It's not just select turn, watch animation, which, by the way, is what a very boring action game does too. Mash attack button until the thing dies. No strategy, no tactics. The same grunt enemies you fight are the same ways you fight enemies. They just soak damage more. Very boring, very quickly.
So why are you trying to help us?
You still don't know who I am. You and I have met many times in your dreams.
Oh, that song from my dream. You don't mean you're...
You finally realized. This is how I got past Universal Control. I sang on an inconspicuous broadcast with all my heart. Just like I used to.
Kisaragi.
Yes, it's me. But a different Tomi Kisaragi from the one in your world. I'm not human anymore.
Yeah, this is the part that I'm curious
Just
about.
data on a computer.
Okay.
But that's exactly how I can still help you.
Because I knew it was her. I just didn't know what the relationship of, like, okay, just like how we have like 3.5 different Juros running around. I'm like, alright, which Tomi is she? Is she... Obviously she's not Cyborg Tomi. Or I mean, she might have been. But she's not real Tomi, old Tomi. You know, which Tomi is she? She's digital Tomi.
She's been reaching out to me.
First try.
Using my TV set to break through the walls that separate us. She's the Tomi Kisaragi I saw in my dreams. The Tomi Kisaragi who has no body left. Just a mind inside a machine.
Oh no. He's at Sector 3's terminal. Help me, Shukun. If we don't stop him, he'll erase me.
You're my only hope.
What should I do?
Inside the outer walls. I hid your sentinel inside.
No, come on! Don't leave me hanging like this! She's gone. What happens if I go there? Can I really make a difference? I can already tell this is gonna be a huge mess. Nope. Nope. A girl has asked for my help. I can't just run away from this. I'll go. And I'll figure out the rest when I get there.
I was just about to make a joke that an agent walks in and shoots him.
Shinonome senpai.
And wow, how about that? I should have made that joke a second earlier.
The door was locked. How did you get in?
I mean, you
broke
opened it.
the lock.
With that gun?
There was an agent too. I put him to sleep.
Oh, right. You were at the park with him. Are you with the shady spy bureau too?
Yes.
So, what do you want with me?
I need your sentinel.
My sentinel?
Call it here.
That's a thing I can do? I have no idea how. Senpai, I'm sorry. But I've got something I need to do.
You want me to shoot you?
I have to go stop Ida. Huh?
Sounds like we're on the same side.
I wonder if during Ryoko's,
Past the tunnel?
she's gonna realize that she would eat her the same
That's where the
person.
sentinel's hidden. Apparently.
That's some sentinel. It must weigh hundreds of tons. How does it fly in the air? Oh, what I really don't understand
Cute. I like how she just
is
questioned
how
it.
you controlled it without any problems. Piloting a sentinel damages you, like what happened to me. So most people can't operate them.
What? You mean piloting a sentinel did all that stuff to you? You know, it's not too late to turn back.
It is too late.
Easy, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna give up now. The girl's in trouble. You know where you're going, don't you, Senpai?
There are 2 terminals that have been analyzed so far. Sector 1 and Sector 3. But we can only get into one of them. That'd be the terminal in Sector 3.
Not really sure I'm following here.
Mr. Ida was supposed to take me with him. But he took Takamiya-san instead.
Yuki-chan? What's he planning with Yuki-chan?
He needed biometric ID from one of us. It's the only way he can access the terminal. But now he's put the gate into lockdown. That means a sentinel's the only way to shift in.
It's just up ahead.
Oh, I thought Ida was gonna have a trap there for him. Okay. He's like, I know how you think. How do you know? Because I'm you.
Wait.
Are you okay?
What is this place?
The outer walls of the spaceship, I guess.
I like how it has that ambient sort of rumble that you hear in
What
sci-fi
are you
ships.
talking about?
Oh, whoa, okay, so you never found out that part. It's a long story.
This doesn't make sense. How could there be a facility like this in a tunnel?
I don't know how, but there is. Let's look for the Sentinel.
It's really here. The one I saw at the park.
Miyuki and Aba hid it here. So, now what?
Well, activate it.
Yeah, but how?
How did you do it before?
I don't know, it just kinda happened.
A girl came up and shot me on the roof.
What about your activation switch? You should have one somewhere on your body.
A switch?
where nanomachines were shot into you. That's where code was injected into your system. So that should be where your switch is.
Oh yeah, I got shot. I think she got me right around here?
Swipe across it. See if that starts things up.
Here goes nothing. So I just swipe it like this?
Interesting.
Okay, I see you. So yeah, I'm in. But for something so big, well, this cockpit looks like a single-seater.
If it shares design elements from number 14, there should be a maintenance hatch somewhere. From there, I could set the shift destination.
Okay, let me look. I found it, I think.
Where is it?
In the back. How's it looking down there?
I've set the shift destination. Now you just need to confirm it.
Okay, here we go. This thing better not let us down. What happened here? It's like a world after an apocalypse. That's Sakura High. It looks a lot like where we live. No, it's in ruins. But that is our city.
We were in Sector 4. What you're looking at is Sector 3.
Okay. So there really is more than one enclosure.
It's down there. The bottom of that hole is the terminal.
Looks like we'll fit right through. I guess we're going down.
Yuki! Freeze! Any closer and I shoot her.
So, found a way through on Shu Amiguchi's Sentinel? I suppose this is because I chose Takamiya-kun over you. Those emotional impulses of yours really do try my patience.
That's not.
I think we
why,
dropped internet
Mr.
there for a
Kia.
while. How weird. Hopefully everybody's okay. You didn't miss anything. All you missed was just us jumping in the... It was actually kind of a cool little cutscene where they flew over the school and then dropped down into here. Let me make sure everything's live. Because it says I'm broadcasting, but it said chat disconnected for a bit, so hold on. Okay, it says we're good. I don't think it interrupted itself. I think. Still seeing you? Okay, cool. It just makes me nervous sometimes because it's been a while, but there was 1 week where it just kept crashing. Couldn't tell you why. I love that line, average viewer, by the way. From the Sonic movie. You might think you know everything that I'm going to do, but that won't work because I know everything that you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? I love that line.
You're Tetsuya Ida, huh? I know about
What if I walk forward if I just get shot?
you. I've seen a lot of your past. Well,
That's inconvenient. She's still transplanting memories, then. Well, I know you too. Perhaps better than anyone else could. After all, I've known you all your life. Ever since I dropped you off as a newborn.
Drop me off?
I placed you into the Amiguchi family as a child.
Then you're saying...
You are genetically identical to me.
Yep.
You are Tetsuya Ida.
No. Yeah, we already knew that. We're smart.
Yuki-chan's got nothing to do with this. Let her go.
I'm afraid she's a vital part of the process.
I like how Ryoko's like,
Biometrics
really
to access the
interesting.
computer. You should know this is partly your fault. Up until now, I had simply been borrowing your ID. But then you had to go and access your Sentinel, which means authorization has been restored to you.
Oh, Miyuki Inaba said something about this. She said she knew me through my ID. Probably because he's the one she was trying to track. It doesn't matter. I don't care what group Yuki-chan's wrapped up in. I'm going to save her. Yuki-chan, don't worry. We're gonna get you out of this.
Amiguchi.
I wonder if these androids are gonna come alive
You have
and ruin the party.
feelings for Yuki Takamiya, I take it.
Yeah, I love her.
Wow, that's bold.
You know, under any other circumstances, it'd be fascinating. Genetically identical, but our experiences made us very different people indeed. A shame. There is nothing you can do to change this.
Miyuki Inaba.
Ida-kun.
So here you are at last. Your singing gave you away. I recognized it
So
instantly.
Ida loves Tomi,
I'm still your biggest
but
fan,
Shu
believe it
loves
or not.
Yuki.
Ida-kun, please. Think this over.
I have to start things over for the two of us.
This is a mistake.
I'm afraid you're the one who's mistaken. It's too late. This place will be gone soon enough anyway. Or do you have some other option to share?
Even if I did, you wouldn't listen to me. Not the way you are now.
Stop! I won't let you erase her!
Erase her? Please. I love Tomi Kisaragi. There's no need for anything as drastic as that.
And Ryoko's just like, I have a
But I
third
do
wheel.
need to silence
Probably
her
a
as
fourth, maybe
precautionary
fifth
measure.
wheel in this conversation.
You can cut
Poor
off
Ryoko.
communications. But I'm not going to give up.
I don't need to cut off communications.
Like, both versions of Shu that
It
she
doesn't
loves
matter
doesn't
where
love
you
her.
are. After all, you're a Sentinel AI now.
She's in a Sentinel?
And I happen to have command authorization over the Sentinels. All of them up to number 19.
That's impossible. Wait, Ida-kun. I'm in orbit right now. I'm watching this all from the command ship's computer. And I can see everything. I know what'll happen to that whole area. The reset will change everything. It'll all be broken down and rebuilt, but
Indeed. A new beginning for you and me.
no, you don't understand.
Attention. Emergency protocol. Force shut down Sentinel number 16.
Don't!
Inaba! Bastard!
She'll be asleep until all of this is over.
I know you are, but what am I?
That's the last
Wait, that
variable
doesn't actually
taken
work
care
in this
of.
situation.
I think our work here is done. We're returning to Sector 4. And you're coming with us, Shu Amiguchi. As will you, Shinonome-kun. Come on. You know you need me.
Hey, really?
That's my girl. We're leaving. Collect the equipment.
I know what you've really been trying to do. Back then, all those nights in the lab, you weren't trying to bring her back. You wanted to remake Kisaragi the way you wanted her to be. Ida, you think we're the same person? You're nothing like me. I'd never use a girl as some tool.
Little shit! Stop right there!
Nice shot.
Don't move.
Damn it.
Hamiguchi-kun, hurry.
Right.
You have to respect Ida's group being so professionally dressed. I do respect the suits.
You hurt Yuki-chan?
The short haircuts, the gloves, they look good.
Shinonome!
2-button jackets, very
You can be
respectable.
such an inconvenience. Speaking of,
Hamiguchi!
Takamiya-kun, I suggest you come quietly, or Amiguchi will suffer the consequences.
You son of a bitch. Yuki-chan, don't risk it.
If we could hurry this up.
On it, sir. What?
Surprise!
They vanished. Did they shift?
Pick up the gun.
Yuki.
Pick up the gun.
So this goes there. Okay, nice. So that's all set. Then let's do this. No dice.
You need to take this seriously.
Or what, you'll be stranded out here?
Be my guest.
Yeah, you don't know exactly how much leverage,
Cool.
dudes.
He's doing fine.
Thank you, the rational one. It's like, last time I checked, you guys were abandoned, and you need me more than I need you right now in this situation. So check yourself.
Yuki-chan, I promised I'd save her. I'm going after her, no matter what it takes.
What if he's gonna activate the robots to kill them?
It doesn't seem as if the director's coming back. Which means it may be up to us to find our way back home. Probably best to work together for now.
So you guys really have no idea how to work all this stuff?
Our intel
Thank goodness there's a
suggested
rational
it's just
one.
not possible for us. The only ones with clearance and ability are the special miners. But we'll certainly make an effort.
Can't your robot do something to solve this? It's capable of transporting us across time, correct?
Is it? I
Well,
don't
if
know.
I know, man. My senpai was the one who set up the time travel. Sure, I can fly the thing, but I'd have no idea how to get us home. How much does your organization know? Do they have any real info on how this place works?
Well, it's a UFO made by scientists of the future. Since before our time. It's been buried here, deep underground.
Okay, so you're basically clueless. Sound about right? Come on, out of the way.
I feel like time's actually flying right now, because I'm checking, it's like, wow, are we really an hour and a half into the stream already? We're at the halfway point? Man, I feel like I've barely done anything. But the truth is, we almost cleared Shu's entire storyline.
This is
And
nothing
we're very
like my
close on Tommy, too.
microcomputer at home. Damn it. This doesn't look good. I can't help Miyuki and Aba. I can't even go after Yuki-chan. What am I supposed to do here? Where'd the console go?
Did it work?
No. It just started moving by itself.
Oh, cool.
Minami?
Amiguchi-kun?
The data unit.
Men in Black.
To the final battle. That is 100%. Interesting. Interesting note to end up on was just a couple of revelations that we kind of already knew, and then it just ends with Natsuno's jumping through time anyway. Interesting pausing point. So before we can progress, we have to finish Tomi's story. But I'm going to take a very quick break and refuel. And I suggest you guys do the same. Keith just finished Zero Time Dilemma, now you can watch the recap. Please enjoy. Please enjoy my attempt to turn a fourth dimensional web of isolated incidents into a linear storyline. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Series is kind of a mess. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I think I overall enjoyed Zero Escape. I was one of those that supported the final game. I was one of those 20-something thousand people who bought it. It was very limited. Shadows bought it too. We both got the cool limited edition like timer watches that they wear. Mine was fine, but I remember Shadows came in broken. But I still have my watch. It was kind of cheap. But yeah, the final one didn't sell very well at all. It was just an effort to even get it published. It definitely didn't even break 6 digits. It was a very, very limited release. But then they re-released it on PS4, I remember, as part of a compilation series. Alright, I think this is the final Tomy one. Interesting, Miwako's not here. Oh, there she is.
Usami-chan, would you like to get crepes on our way home?
I'd love to, but I've kinda got somewhere to be.
Okay.
Do you need something?
Not really, sorry.
Usami-chan, you've been acting strange lately. Are you okay? You seem kind of stressed out.
But you're just fine, right?
Hey, I'm worried about you. Iori-chan! Shall we go home together?
Sorry, I have plans.
You too?
Sorry, Miwa-chan.
It's okay. I'll go home by myself.
Well, it's about that time.
Yeah.
I should head out too. See you, Miwa-chan.
Bye!
So now we're in that conversation that Juro sees over and over.
Something up? You're staring.
It's nothing. Miwako doesn't remember a thing. But maybe that's for the best.
And now he's gonna grab the papers. That's cool if they're approaching it from this
Miwako.
angle.
I'm heading out.
See you!
The papers. Miss Morimura forgot them again.
Yeah.
I'm late. There you are. Back at it again with the skirt and wig, huh? What a weirdo.
I just didn't get a chance to change. As I said, this is a necessary disguise. Bold words for someone who can't be bothered to make it here on time.
Sorry. Anyway, you're going to do this for me, right?
Let's go. Get in position.
I wonder where this one's going to end. Oh.
What? Kisaragi?
Amiguchi? What are you doing here?
That's what I should be asking you. Well, whatever. Who's that little cutie?
Hear that? You're a cutie, apparently.
I'm not complaining.
Huh.
Hey, what are
Okay,
you
so this
doing?
is
Stay
after.
back.
I'm about to say, it's like, what
I'm
happened to
like
the
one
other two
of the black
guys?
suit guys.
BJ says he knows them.
Alright, so this is directly after the
Natsuno?
other part.
Usami! You're here too?
So I saw the play arts figure of Natsuno because I was looking at other
This little guy led me here.
recently released
Sekigahara's robot?
play arts. Or no, it's not play arts I was looking at. What was I looking at? Because play arts is Square Enix. I was looking at the Nendoroid site, whatever that company is called. Because they released a couple of new Monster Hunter ones, and I was like, oh, those are so cool, I gotta get the Monster Hunter Nendoroids. Especially since one of them is Nargacuga armor, with a longsword. I'm like, I rolled with Nargacuga armor and a longsword. That's perfect for me. Because that extra evade window, baby. Gotta love it. You can evade for days. And I saw the Natsuno statue that people were talking about. And I was like, why'd they just make Natsuno, though? It's like, they didn't make any of the other people at all just Natsuno? Okay. Whatever. Because I tell you what, if there was one of my boy Takatoshi, especially with him with that little joyful smile while he's eating his yakisoba pan, I would buy that. I would 100% buy that.
Amiguchi-kun surprised me enough as it is. But seriously, you too, Usami? I can't believe you're all time traveling. This is actually where I'm from. Whoa, you came from the future? Does anyone else know about this stuff? Let's see. Yuki-chan from Class 1A? Miura-kun too.
What? That guy?
So you're here to help number 16 too?
My own Sentinel is there.
Sentinel number 17. So that's how it is. Both 16 and 17 were put into orbit.
They went to an unknown man-made artifact in space.
We've briefly gotten
Back
hold
to
of it from
Takatoshi's the
here,
goat? Hell yeah.
but we don't quite understand what it is.
Number 16 would know the answer.
I want to have a little
Last time I
sprite.
got through to her when I touched something over
I just
there.
don't know how it's possible, but I want
But
somebody
how?
who has access to the
It
sprites or
won't
whatever
respond. Not
to
even
make like a
with
little
Kisaragi's
tiny gif of him
biometric
eating
ID.
his yakisoba pan.
She's
I want to get that
completely
gif.
inaccessible now.
I want to make an
You,
emoji.
Amiguchi, may know the reason.
You wanna know
Godslayer,
why?
welcome back.
Ida did it himself. He shut down her Sentinel.
Ada, huh?
Yeah. Something about authorization?
He must have used his security authorization to issue the command. So that's what happened.
You created these Sentinels. Perhaps you can clear the authorization.
Worth a try. Help me out.
So why are you here?
I can't turn down a cry for help. Especially not from the one and only Miyuki Inaba.
Whoa, that was my old username. What a coincidence.
Miyuki Inaba? You mean that idol?
Well, yeah. She talked to me through a TV program. You guys call her number 16, but she's actually another you.
I knew it. That song. It sounded a little different in the style of the 80s. But it's just like one I sang back in middle school. And Inaba.
Yeah, that was actually a wild guess,
That's my
but
username.
I'm not surprised
I became an idol?
that her idol name would be her username.
Seriously?
It just made the most sense. High five, we figured that one out too.
Preparations are complete. Kisaragi, as you scan your ID to grant access, the authorization will be reset, and the Sentinel will reboot. Go ahead and unlock it.
Here
Boop.
goes. No good?
The Sentinel started up normally.
I see. Ida couldn't shut me off.
We all came to save you. Sorry it's a little late.
Thank you. Access is clear. Don't worry. Universal Control doesn't suspect a thing. To it, this appears to be a simple video broadcast.
So you're Miyuki Inaba?
Also known as Tomi Kisaragi.
tell me, what is all this? What's going on?
I would like information as well.
Do you trust me?
And I'm just glad to
Well,
be
you're
here,
me,
says Natsuno.
right? I won't get anywhere if I can't even trust myself.
I was shifted to the orbiting command ship. Command ship? For the second phase of the Interstellar Development Project. It's an artificial satellite that presides over terraforming.
Terraforming?
The very ground you stand on is proof. The second phase was a resounding success.
No way!
So the D-forces were used to develop land.
Originally, yes. They were designed as heavy machinery for that purpose.
You mean, it's really true? We're not on planet Earth. Huh?
I've seen it with my own eyes. The whole city's less than 30 kilometers long. I thought it was on a spaceship, though.
Unbelievable. What about the other countries I'd been investigating?
Universal control alters the information you receive. It does whatever's necessary to make things appear consistent.
So we know that all of them are made by Shikishima. We know that it's all construction equipment, and this is a terraforming project. We already got that information already. What still isn't clear to me is why they made it an artificial 30-kilometer wide city and put special clones of themselves inside it. Like, what was the point of that? That, I think, is going to be more alongside Juro / 426's thing, but we already finished Juro. But it's like, why did they do this project? The context behind that. Because we know what it's here, or we know what's here, we just don't know why it's here.
All of the terminal controls too.
You're able to
But
control
we're
the
wrapping up
satellite
on a lot of
from your
people's stories, so
Sentinel?
this will make the third person whose route is done.
But it is possible.
3 down, 10 to go.
I'm Tomi Kisaragi.
Huh?
She's the one who designed the second phase of interstellar development. She was a terraforming researcher. Watch this log of hers.
February 8th, 2188. Continuing my report from yesterday. I ran the simulation. This was our 25th terraforming attempt. We believe the planet is a Type 57b. In order to reach a habitable state for humanity, the process took 1,800 years. A bit longer than hoped. No further issues up to this point. Oh, and I almost forgot. At Professor Morimura's suggestion, I updated the system on the command ship. It's set to monitor the final phase, surface facilities. Before any harm may come to these facilities, it will determine whether the final phase needs to be redone. As the professor always says, it can't hurt to be safe. Work has been coming along well, but I honestly can't wait to return to the surface.
What was that?
A log from Tomi Kisaragi in the year 2188.
She said some curious things. Like redoing the final phase.
You heard correctly. There's no turning back.
Well, what now?
The command ship will fall below the horizon soon. We'll be disconnected for quite a while.
Are there any measures we can take?
Yes. But I believe there's only one way through this.
And what's that?
Universal control. It needs to be altered. And the only ones who can do that are all of you. Trust in me. And get into the Sentinels.
Alright. So that's where I decided to end that. Okay. Well, at least we can play a battle real fast. Alright, so Nanami, Mira on the strike team. Cool.
Let's go. I'll go.
Horde of Worker and Hunter Kaiju will appear. Which one of the Hunters? Those are the flyer ones, I think, right? Yeah, I think they are.
My turn.
I kind of want Fuyusaka on there. Wow, we do not have a lot of stuff to work with. Alright. Because we have to have these two guys on there. Is this game mostly reading, like mostly visual novel? For the most part, yeah. And I guess by reading, you're kind of also just listening, because you're not really reading big blocks of text like you would with a traditional visual novel. It's kind of being read to you, so it's almost like a visual animated novel, I think is more accurate to say. And yeah. It's like a 70-30 mix, I would say. Not quite a 50-50 split, I think it's more of a 70-30 mix. Because now we're about to do the battle part. I don't realize shield repair also heals. That's actually kind of cool. So I don't need shield matrix then. Because it's redundant. This also adds a shield. It is worth it to get more interceptors out there. Alright, so we got the interceptors going. I kind of want to add another G4 out there. You need... Do you have anything that can hit air people? I guess EMP Attractor is like literally the only thing you got. EMP Surrounding sounds actually kind of good. Because you don't necessarily have to draw aggro, you just need to drop them. Does he have EMP? No. He has EMP Surrounding. I kind of want to do EMP Surrounding. Is the story gripping enough to warrant a split that big of 70-30? If you are a big sci-fi fan, and I mean by sci-fi, you mean like whatever sci-fi movie you're thinking of, whatever trope, whatever major movie or show you could think of, it's represented in some small way in this. So yes, you have to be a big fan of sci-fi to appreciate all the references this game makes. And so far, I've been enjoying the story. I have zero problem with that mix. I've had zero problems with just 100% reading books. I mean, I like to read, so it doesn't bother me. Also, when you play a lot of those older RPGs, like before the Millennium, most, if not all, were just text boxes. No voice acting. They usually say voice acting for like cutscenes, if that. Extremely few games had all, you know, fully voice acted in anything that was before 2000. So you did a lot of reading. Alright, Juro's got a Guardian Avenger, which is good. She only has Guardian, not Guardian Avenger now. So she actually places an AoE shield emitter. I haven't played with that yet. I have a pair emitter, but I honestly almost never use it.
I'll fight.
Alright, we're gonna go with not EMP attractive, but EMP surrounding. And while we're here, let's go ahead and slice up that there Demolisher Blade. Nick, I love your videos. Keep up the great work. Nick, I think you have the name of champions. You have a solid name. I can respect that name. Thank you so much. Alright, we're gonna go with our boy. And even though I'd like another G4 unit, between the sentry guns of this and the long range of these guys, we're kind of okay. Because if there's hordes, that means we need AoE control. But I'm throwing Takatoshi out there just in case there's gonna be, you know, another one. Just another Deimos. So let's rock and roll. Yeah, Dr. Mouse, it's on sale a lot of places right now through this week, so if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and get it. If anything, you'll be supporting Vanillaware, and they do good work.
Natsuno-san? You know, Miura-kun, you kind of remind me of BJ.
Cause he is.
Weird, right? It's not like the two of you are that similar, even.
Well, we already passed that stage where we saw Keitaro uploading himself into the cloud slash BJ.
I'll stay here as a shield. I'm not going anywhere. Number 17's gonna win this for us. It's BJ's own Sentinel, after all.
You're right. He and that Sentinel are one and the same. And I know I can count on him to protect you.
Daimo's signature's approaching. They're coming.
Well, nothing else for it. Please, cover me.
What now?
Alright, we're in the middle. Hate the middle.
Back me up.
Stay calm. Lend us a hand. I won't give up.
Oh, damn, her shield repair is a smaller radius. Okay, that's the reason why it heals as well. I'm like, wow, you do heal and shield repair? What a bargain. No, it's because it's only that. Okay, damn. I would rather take a blanket shield and shield plus healing for a smaller radius.
Let's see.
There's still hope. We will not lose. Take that.
This music's kind of chill. That's a lot of radiuses. Radii.
Definitely. What to do? There's still hope.
Alright, you are danger close.
Gotta keep it together.
Are you ground? No, you're mostly air. Alright. Hey, but you're not shielded. I'll take that.
Just watch. Hit. Gotcha.
Enemy on the move. Target confirmed. Take that! Threat suppressed. Okay. What next?
That is a lot of ground dudes. Holy crap. Alright, you, I'm gonna move right over here.
What can I do? That's it. That hit. Got it. Number 12. Unbelievable.
Stay calm. I can do it.
All those numbers.
I did it.
What next?
Damn it, there's both in this one. Okay, I need you to get down there and punch those dudes.
I guess life comes at you fast. Number 12,
I need
moving
to
out.
think things through. Take that. Got it.
What next? Senseless.
Gotta keep my spirits up.
Let's just clean out this. I wonder if this is going to actually stagger the system, because we haven't had a system staggering in a while.
Ready for this?
Yeah, it's starting to drop the frame rate. It's starting to chunk. That's so funny.
Where are they? They don't stand a chance.
That's the first time it's actually started to chunk. That is so funny to me. Okay, I'm glad I sent Takatoshi down there then. Alright, I want all you guys to be centralized right here.
I won't give up. Take that.
I'll make it work.
Alright. So glad I came over here. Totally a chance. Oh shit, these are all drums, aren't they? Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Okay. Not a big deal.
They're finished. A fine hit.
Nice. Perfect. Look at that strike. Punch the explosive right into the other guys. Knocked them all down. Beautiful. She got so much EP back from that strike, it was just basically free. Free damage. Alright. finish this fast. I'm about to be overwhelmed. I'm not gonna get a back attack on you, am I? Damn.
How's that?
We will not lose. Take that.
I want to send out interceptors, but honestly, we just need...
Remember your training.
Oh man, there's so many dudes.
Did I get it? Enemy unit destroyed.
Got it. Kaiju down.
Gotta do something. Eva! How's that? Take that!
I'll make this light comes at you fast.
Come on, that's not a back... Oh, it is back attack. Okay, cool. About to say, come on. Totally facing the other way. There we go.
Here goes. How's that? I beat the kaiju. Did I? There's still hope. Take that.
They're getting so danger close.
I'll beat you.
We can't afford to be shy here.
I'm not throwing away my shot.
Is anyone else descending? No. Okay.
Here we go.
Let's start sniping.
I hit. Unbelievable. I'm acting like an amateur.
Acting like an amateur. I love that line.
Take this.
Alright, we got most of the horde down. As long as another wave doesn't come down, we're in a good position here. Which is why I'm gonna move you out there
What can I
and
do?
cut this guy.
Okay. Number 13. Moving out.
I need to think things through. Take that. Ha! I did it. You're attacking it.
To get out
How do
fast.
I...
Within enemy threat range.
I gotta do this.
Yeah, we're gonna move you out here and blade that guy. That's what I need you to do.
Did it.
I love it when they march a single file line.
Damn Kaiju. That hit. I did it. Good time. What next? Here it comes.
Thanks for not facing my way, I appreciate that.
Try again.
We will not lose. I'm counting on
Alright,
you.
send out interceptors. Let's clean up the trash. We got this, we got this.
It worked. I'm okay now.
Enemy on the move. Target confirmed. Take that! Enemy down.
Gotta do something. Eva. How's that? Take that.
I'll make it work.
Actually, by the time you walk there, you'll probably be dead, but we'll just have you walk there anyway.
Number 12.
Let's
Moving
do
out.
this. There's still hope. I've got you now. Did I? They won't get past me.
Can't mess this up. Okay. Butterfly.
Alright, Jiro, take us home.
That's it.
Shining Finger!
They're down.
Dude, yeah, like, Shining Finger just destroys. It's just point, click, delete. I love it. Shining Finger is expensive, but Shining Finger is so worth it. Wasn't the cleanest fight, but we took care of that pretty fast.
Terminal closure complete. Surrounding 2-kilometer area now fully secure. Ending tactical analysis.
Now we just gotta slam the Aegis down on the others, right?
Unfortunately, it's not so simple. If we activate Aegis on all the terminals, time as we know it will stop in this world.
What? Since when?
Stop time? You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
Our link to universal control would be completely cut off. Everyone but us will disappear. They'll never come back.
When was that established?
We'd be completely isolated. Trapped in a dead world. Just us and the ruined city. Until the day we die.
So this Aegis isn't gonna save our asses after all.
So that's Operation Aegis. Even then, I guess she thought it'd be better than being annihilated.
If Morimura believed the Sentinel project was a lost cause, this must have seemed like her only option.
We made it.
Hey, we're very close to beating the score cap. We're only like just 14,000, barely 13 and change away from hitting that. Not bad, not bad.
BJ, I did my best.
That early missile rain is what got Minami that MVP. I think it's interesting you can disable pilot skills. Why would you ever do that? Blam. Nice. Yeah, that was one where the bonus objective didn't make things harder. If anything, I'm glad I got two G3s on there. Love that missile rain. Alright, we'll save that battle for later. Dr. Fate Gundam references, hell yeah, high five. I actually think I have a couple kits coming in the mail. Incidentally, for the Endless Waltz versions of the suits that came out recently. Say what you will, but I really like Wing. I know Wing is controversial, and it's much more popular in the West than it is in the East, but I like Wing. Alright, nothing yet. Maybe if you want to test pilots based on their base stats. I use the pilots based on their kits, honestly. Who else is very close? Alright, so she needs Natsuno to finish off her story. Let's check out Natsuno.
Right.
Huh? Where'd he go?
I saw a log made by me, but from 2188. In it, I spoke about a project capable of creating
Wing was the
humans
first
on another
Gundam. I think
planet.
Wing was the first Gundam for a lot
And
of people.
according to BJ,
I might be a rare exception
this is
in
that
some
planet.
cases, because
And we
my
are
dad
his
actually, when he was
creations.
growing up, back
the
in the
log alone
60s,
doesn't
watched
leave me entirely
Yusha
convinced.
Raiden. And if you are familiar with your history, especially your Gundam history, Yusha Raiden is the series that preceded Mobile Suit Gundam, made by the same guy. because my dad watched anime when he was growing up, so we watched stuff like, you know, Astro Boy, Gigantor, 8-Man, Yushirai, like I mentioned, a few others. And so when I was growing up, I was already exposed to anime. Like in the late 80s, early 90s, my dad was one of those that went to, you know, video rental place and would rent like those hyper violent 80s animes, and I would watch them too. And you know, it's those type of ones that only had like 2 episodes on a VHS back in the day. And yeah, like whatever the anime section had, like I watched it. And so when anime started coming in, like a lot of people in the West, in America especially, their first big exposure to anime was Akira. That's why Akira is so significant. Say what you will about the movie itself, it was significant because it was the big splash in the West for anime. But to me, I was like, oh, it's more anime. I was already exposed to anime. So I fortunately avoided many childhoods, like so many people I hear on the internet, where they basically had to hide that they liked anime from their parents, like it's some sort of taboo. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like, my dad is the one who got me in. Gnome, how are you? This is, thanks for coming into the chat. This is, Mobile Suit Gundam Defense Force.
A small... Did I? At least for now. There's something else about Sentinel number 17. There are logs
G Gundam
from
was my first exposure,
2188
nice.
hidden inside it. If I can find the Sentinel, then I can find out once and for all if these
I like G Gundam
aliens
a
are
lot.
real.
It was very silly and very dumb, but it was fun.
Turns
Like,
out
it didn't
wasn't
take
an
itself
alien.
seriously.
He was actually a futuristic robot
And that's
made by a
what made the
Japanese company.
difference. I mean, you have a windmill Gundam, let's be for real.
The agents continue to lurk around the school. They gotta be
You have
searching
like the
for
Mexican
something.
Gundam with a sombrero and
think I
poncho. It's
know.
like, oh my god,
I'm almost
this
sure
would
of
not
it.
fly today.
They
It's
still
so
think
funny.
BJ is an alien.
Neo Tokyo, Domokashu. It was so cool. I still like the theme song too. Fly in
Wow.
the sky.
You actually stayed hidden this time.
And of course that music flared up whenever he did his hand of mine glows with an awesome power. You know you said it with him.
BJ, what kind of robot are you anyway?
Your old man preferred action movies? I mean, so did mine. My dad watched all sorts of stuff. My dad watched sci-fi, my dad watched action movies, my dad watched like kung fu movies. My dad also liked spy films. He was a big James Bond fan, so I watched all the spy films. But he also liked anime. It wasn't like he
So when
just
the
watched
European
that.
called you a piece of
My dad's also a
Sentinel
major sports guy,
technology,
which is something I did
he
not
wasn't
acquire
wrong
from him.
then. You mentioned
I mean,
something
back in
once.
like the 80s and all that, it's like
We're the ones
the
who are
understanding was,
aliens.
hey, you're gonna see
That
violence,
this is a
you're gonna see
different
blood, you're
planet.
gonna see people getting shot, you're gonna see people saying
find
bad
that hard
words.
to believe.
Just don't do that in real life and not in the house. And as long as you understood that and you obeyed that, it's cool. You can watch those movies. As long as you understood that you don't do it in the house and you don't say it in the house. That's how it went.
The Sentinel you're searching for. There's
And
more
I
than
respected
one,
that,
isn't there?
and that's why we
The
got to watch
video
all sorts of
logs from
movies.
2188.
Stuff that probably would be, rated R by today's standards. It's funny. A lot of older movies get like rated down to like PG, PG-13, but in many cases are much more suggestive or violent or socially controversial than the stuff that they put out today. That's kind of, I don't want to say sanitized, but in some cases by committee, you can kind of tell.
Well, now that
They
that's
play it
settled,
safer in a lot of games or movies. Well, kind of both, really.
well, now that
Gotta hit those wide audiences, you know, mass appeal and all that.
well, this is certainly no time to be training. Let's go find it, little guy.
Master Asia, the undefeated of the East.
Again, Natsuno?
Listen, I'd really appreciate it if...
This girl's such a drag.
If I didn't tell Senpai?
It's good that she doesn't care either. Yeah, TV censored movies were always hilarious, especially when the voices didn't match up with the people. It was hilarious. I remember Die Hard one time watching that. And it was like, yeah, you're a rascal, but you're my kind of rascal. And it's just, it didn't match up, and it was hilarious.
If B...
Huh? Hey! Where do you think you're going? Skipping training again?
Well, the thing is... There's something I really gotta do, so...
You first years are such slackers.
Whatever, man.
And now I gotta deal with our track room getting trashed. Ugh.
Look, man,
Maybe
stop
a
projecting.
stray cat got in.
No. Someone broke the lock in the middle of the night.
I wonder... Were those men in black looking for BJ?
Here you go with your nonsense again.
And Noble Gundam was just was Sailor Moon. I thought that was hilarious too. There's a lot of funny stuff in there. What was the name of Neo Germany? It was like Jaeger Gundam or something like that, or maybe that was the name of the pilot. I can't remember. And he was like a German ninja.
We're here.
Where do you get your kits from? Well, it depends. I got a lot of references from another friend of mine. That's a friend of Shadow's as well. It's a huge Gundam fan. Sometimes he's on here. But either USA Gundam Store or I just get directly from P Bandai. Depends on whoever has a good deal. And whichever kit version it is, of course. I don't get everything, I just get the suits that I like. Which one are we going to again?
Sector 3 has been built.
1945. It wasn't there either. 2065. Number 8 was there, but we couldn't find number 7. Sector 1. Where could number 17 be?
Let's go to Sector 1.
Maestro, thanks for coming into the chat. Appreciate you.
What year is it in Sector 1?
Hope you're having a good night.
2105.
The 22nd century?
Access code approved. Designating sector.
People forget, back in like the early 90s, DC was king, and Marvel was just hot garbage. Marvel was so trash in the early 90s that it was selling off its properties to anyone that would buy it. That's the reason why you have license wars between Sony, Paramount, I think Universal has a stake in there too. That's the reason why the Marvel license is split up between Fox had it as well. Like, Marvel was so dirt poor and so crap on their shows and their movies compared to DC, who was killing it. I mean, it's like, man, what a difference that, 30 years makes. That these days, it's like the shoe's on the other foot. Granted, DC isn't, like, as bad as how bad Marvel used to be. Especially since DC's animated movies are still very good. But, man, like, in the early 90s, nobody gave a shit about pretty much almost anybody except X-Men and Spider-Man. Nobody cared about Marvel. It was a joke. Spider-Man was always the exception. Spider-Man, to this day, is worth more than the entire Marvel character IP line combined. I'm not even making that up. You can go look that up in terms of IP values. You have all of Marvel, and then worth more than that is Spider-Man by himself. Spider-Man carries the Marvel line. That's the reason why Sony grips him, has a death grip on Spider-Man, and just wants to rent him out because it knows it got Spider-Man at just a steal. It stole Spider-Man for such a deal, and it knows it just got gold on its hand.
So we ended up nuking them?
It was the government's last-ditch effort after the city was destroyed.
And we still couldn't beat them?
Maestro, it's a lot.
Too many of them.
There's a lot of subplots going on. Not just Back to the Future, but there's a lot.
Nowhere else is safe.
What have you been looking at this whole time?
I'm searching for memories.
Like your own memories?
After I ran a self-diagnosis on this drone, I discovered my memories were fragmented.
I think Spider-Man got an early lead on the rest of Marvel because of the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon.
They've been tampered with
So like he kind of had more recognizability.
By who?
So because of the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon, like, you know, people were like, "Oh, I know Spider-Man. He's that one Marvel guy, right?" Yeah. And that's basically it.
In this facility is this era's largest quantum computer. If anyone were to store memories here,
You watched all the Danganronpa recaps? Thank you.
at least 300 meters out.
Was it your first time experiencing Danganronpa?
What's wrong?
Someone just shifted to the hangar. They're coming this way.
What
Is
do
that
we
A?
do?
Might be A.
Who are they?
Seems you take questions. Yeah, I do take questions. You don't actually need to write down description. It, like, rule number 2, because we only have rule number 1 so far, which is don't be a jerk. But rule number 2 should be it's okay to ask me questions. What is your opinion on rhythm games? I don't prefer most rhythm games, mostly because I'm bad at almost every rhythm game. There are a couple of rhythm game exceptions that I've liked because the gameplay was forgiving for somebody like me who just isn't very good at it. And it's funny because I've actually played an instrument in real life for quite a few years, and I was pretty good at it when I was in middle school, high school. And ironically, I can't really play rhythm games to save my life, so I don't have fun with them. And that would be, let's see, what are a couple of the good ones that I enjoyed? I know I liked Elite Beat Agents. Oh, Space Channel number 5 was fantastic. Let's see, because that was just Simon Says. And I think Atari Man was rhythm based as well. That was a good one. Really deep into rhythm games, even if I'm not the best. Nice. I can respect that with a name like Maestro. Yeah, that is a blind spot for me. I'm pretty bad at them. Just almost entirely. And I don't have an interest in getting better. I like listening to music, I don't necessarily like playing musical games. Oh, Goto. Makes sense.
What do you think?
Hard to say. I need more information. This decode is problematic. It attaches to the part of the brain where memories are stored. It must be physically severed to be removed. The damage this procedure does to
Like
the
you would
brain
never see me playing
is
Osu.
lethal.
Let's just put it that way.
That program, the one that severs the code. That's what's infecting the
DDR
Sentinels.
Guitar Hero, I always had to be polite in a party and just be like, nah, I can't do that.
I wasn't
I
aware that
can't.
control over the automated factories could be partially adjusted. You did well to discover that detail.
It wasn't me. It
Beat
was
Saber,
Zero
I
using
own
me
the
from 2
game.
loops ago.
Never played it, and I never will.
2 loops ago.
Have you forgotten? We've restarted twice since the world ended.
I see. The shifting range isn't just limited to residential zones. Sector 0 makes that possible. In any case, we don't have much time. Where did you get all this information from?
From the computer in the underground UFO.
UFO, huh? Is that what you've been calling it these days? Well, can we go there?
Yes, we can. You are the one who made it possible, after all. Have you really forgotten?
In case you couldn't tell, I have a child's brain. The occasional memory lapse is to be expected.
Yeah, but you an old woman before. I expected memory loss from that. Oh, so bad. Where did Minami hide? She just became one with the shadows. You're modding a soft pad into a hard pad? Nice. You have rhythm and you have engineering skills.
Wasn't that Chihiro-chan?
Double threat.
And Goto-senpai was with her. You saw that too, right, BJ?
Calm down, Natsuno.
Man, if you didn't stop me...
I'm gonna talk about it for a while. That's
totally
fine.
would've
We're
jumped
chill
out
here.
at
It's
them.
all good. I hope you enjoy the Danganronpa series. I did. I didn't expect to, but I did. I have to ask, or rather, I recommend, watch Danganronpa 3, the anime. It's only an anime.
She
it's
was
not a
dressed
game.
like a kindergartner. That was Chihiro-chan,
Then
right?
maybe come back and tell me what you
Here
thought of the
comes little
what
sister.
you thought of the ending of
She
V3.
didn't seem like she was unhappy to be
Because
there.
everybody has a take
And
on the
there
end
was
of
something
V3.
different about her. Goto-senpai was talking to her like she was a scientist.
Oh, can anybody explain to me what is the meme regarding Seesaw? Because I see so many people post Seesaw in there. I'm like, this has to be a meme. Or some popular streamer made a joke about this. There's a meme about this. What is the meme around Seesaw in V3? What's going on with that?
I saw Goto-senpai in the past. I guess he's able to time travel too. Hey, VJ?
I located it. It was in the access log's history. My memories really were stored here after all.
Really?
Apparently. I predicted all of this. Somehow. We have a problem.
What is it?
I'm unable to locate the memory data. They're stored in the cache somewhere. But they appear to be hidden.
Game 3, Case 3? The Seesaw effect? I'm missing something. I have to look into that later. I do not get the reference. 3 does exist. No, Danganronpa 3 is just an anime. It's not a game.
Isn't this
Danganronpa
supposed to be some
V3
super strong
is not
computer?
Danganronpa 3.
Can't you do a quick search of
Two
it or
different
something?
things.
After a preliminary scan of the cache, 9.216 million data units were found. If I were to trace every unit, I'd need about 80 days.
It has its own subreddit. If it has its own subreddit, then I'm almost not interested anymore.
I must have left some kind of hint. Something to identify the data unit.
Identify? What do you mean?
Each unit is a three-dimensional construct. Their coordinates consist of 2 alphabetical letters, as well as 2 numerical values.
Brooks, it's a game. Danganronpa 3 is not a game. I am not sure what you are referencing, but Danganronpa 3 is not a game. The third game, V3, is not Danganronpa 3. Danganronpa 3 is an anime. Specifically. It's an anime that talks about the events of the Hope's Peak saga from the first visual novel, the first game, Ultra Despair Girls, and 2. Then it goes into 3. Trust me on this.
Back when we first met, I just assumed BJ was your name. But maybe...
BJ
said it.
I have no logs of this exchange.
Wait, let me think. Yeah, it was something like BJ 11-5.
BJ 11-5.
So, was that it?
It's all good.
Yes, I've located it.
Don't worry about it, Brooks. Yeah, trust me, a lot of people, when it first came out, the Danganronpa Anime 3 came out around the same time as V3 the game, and everybody was confused. It's like, wait, is it the same thing? What's the difference? What's going on?
Where is it?
At an altitude of
I remember when V3 was being advertised, even the commercials were just trolls about everything
It's up in
about
the
it.
sky?
yes, in an
They knew what they were
artificial
doing with
satellite
V3.
orbiting the planet.
Orbit? Like, in space?
I cannot access it from here.
But yeah, everybody has a different take on the end of V3.
Where? To space?
To the place Reniagoto mentioned. The
Some people love it, some people hate it, some people want their headcanon to override it. It's all over the place. A Sekigahara is unlockable. I didn't realize he had a gate on him. I guess he did. Let's do with Megumi and Iori. We haven't seen them in a while. They're in the 50s. They gave Ollie the most unfortunate name in this game. Yeah, we made that joke in the first one. Shadows.
Juro, I won't let you get away this time.
It's you.
It's you.
Well, the you of 16 years ago. You're not aware of what
You
happened.
need to play V3, but play 1 and 2 back and back. No, before you play V3, watch Danganronpa 3.
What happened?
That's what I'm telling you.
You and I were in love. Hand in hand, we struggled to save the world.
That... it was all for naught.
Not entirely. We did find the truth. This is but one small part of a massive operation. Even if I tried to explain it, it would be lost on you now. The plan needs to be revised. Please, you must let me go.
Do you mean to say you'll be taking even more lives? You've already killed the 4 that came with you.
You misunderstand. I backed up my data on Sector 0 before the final battle. That was all I could do. I'm not aware of what happened to the others.
That's not what Ida-kun said.
That guy.
I can't trust a word you say.
The 25-year-old Morimura felt quite differently. You said you'd loved me since the day we met. I can't imagine that's changed. Please, open the way.
I can't.
Shot first.
Juro.
It was all a dream.
Another dream. Was that really just a dream? Even meeting him again? No. I had butterflies in my stomach. That was real. I should go back to the science room. Maybe it'll happen again. I need to look for him. That's right. 2089. That's what year it was in my dream.
Wait, where are we?
He said he'd gone back in time 16 years to find me. If that was a real premonition, something's gonna happen in the year 2105.
Which would you prefer, an anime series, anime movie, 3D movie, or live action 13 Sentinels? Definitely an anime series. you need to take your time with this. And there are a lot of story breaks that would be great for episode breaks as well.
Yeah, I'm fine now.
I feel there's a creative way you could probably project this.
Oh wait, the science room. The door's always locked.
Ryan, probably a manga first. Ooh, you know what? A manga's a good idea too.
The very same day as you.
Hi, Usami-chan.
Welcome back to the land of the living. Gotta say, sleeping as much as you do is a real talent.
Could it be?
What? Stop jumping to conclusions.
I'm just kidding. I already talked to him. He went on a trip that
I'm sure. How are you doing?
Kurabe-kun. He looks a bit like the man in my dream. And I called that man Juro. It was him, right? It had to be. I know it's just a dream, but I shot him point blank. Feels kind of weird to talk to him now.
Me? I'm just fine.
Well, okay. That's good.
By the way...
Hey, Miwa-chan.
Good morning.
What are we eating today?
Quite sleepy, huh? I saw you nodding off the whole time. The teacher was glaring at you again. You were absent the other day. Did something happen?
I used to sleep a lot in class myself, honestly.
Well,
Especially,
I had a stomach ache,
I don't know, it was like clockwork, especially in college, when I was just
now.
overloaded between working full time to pay for college, which was painful at the time and miserable, but I don't regret it. But I always like clockwork around 1 or 2 o'clock would just fall asleep. And I remember one teacher was actually kind of cool about it. It was my accounting teacher. And because I was so good at the topic and subject, I could sleep in class. He could nudge me, and I would just kind of, you know, awake. And I was in the front row too. I wasn't like in the back sleeping. I was in the front row sleeping. It pissed everyone else off.
That's good.
Especially since I'm a light snorer. And
By the way, Usami-chan,
like he would nudge me, and he would ask me a question, and I, in my stupor, would answer the question correctly, and he'd be like, "All right, good." And then I would drop back asleep, and he would never bother me because I knew my stuff. I could answer the questions, and I was so good at the tests. So my accounting teacher never gave me shit about sleeping in class because I did better than the kids that were allegedly awake and paying attention.
same day as you. Could it be?
What?
What's up, male students?
It's my turn to clean up the science room.
Sorry, dude. That one's a real pain.
Whatever. Maybe the other helper's a cute girl.
Let's see. Oh, it's Sawatari. Lucky you.
Is she your type? I don't know, man.
Maybe that's my key to the science room. Miwa-chan.
Stop jumping
This
to
girl's still
conclusions.
suspicious. Swear to God.
I already talked to him.
Hey, Miwa-chan. It's your turn to clean up the science room, right?
Uh-huh.
I have a favor to ask.
I don't know what you're planning on doing. But be safe, okay? Chemicals are dangerous.
Relax, it's nothing like that. I'll be sure to lock up when I'm done. Don't worry.
Okay. I'll take the trash out now. Do what you need to.
Thanks, Miwa-chan. All right. Last time, stuff started popping up right about here. anything? Everything's normal. Open sesame!
Voice print matched.
That's funny.
Senior
That actually
Administrative
worked.
ID authorized.
Whoa, there it is! It really worked. I knew it wasn't a dream. I have no idea how this works. But
So I'm just gonna
let's
press
see.
buttons.
I think it was like this. Yes, I'm going to meet him again. Take me there, into the future.
She's way too optimistic at this. She just kind of goes with the flow. So this is the version that has the androids lying around. So this must be before Shu gets here.
Huh? This looks different. What is this place? Oh, I remember.
She's like, well, that's cool.
This is
Anyway.
the UFO from my dream.
She's unexpectedly laid back.
An alien? Is it dead? Looks like a computer. There's text on the screen.
Also, I realized that I numbered this episode wrong. I'll change it later. I have it as part 11. It's actually part 12. I know, all of you that are confused about the continuity. On my unofficial subreddit and wiki, you can
Another
edit
one.
this as an error,
This
and then I'll pretend it
reminds
never
me of
happened.
something. What was it?
Just kidding, I'm not cool enough to have a subreddit or a wiki.
These computers are
One day,
analyzing
goals.
the UFO. We must have brought them here. Just like in the dream. Do I hear footsteps? Someone's coming. Oh no.
It's funny, I'm both
What if it's an alien?
I'm both grateful for the
I need to
early
hide.
boost on my channel that came directly from Reddit. That's really was encouraging, but at the same time, I'm so discouraged by Reddit in general.
He's still after me. Is that Shinonome-senpai?
No good. It's not moving. 426 must have shot it. There's no choice. I must retreat for now. All right.
Brooks, my channel's huge. Thank you for thinking so.
Why must you
I
keep
don't think
running
so.
from me? I'm...
You have a subreddit? I do not have a subreddit. Or at least to the last bit of my knowledge, I don't. I'm pretty sure I don't have one. Not that I go and
Get
check.
away with this.
But I know I checked like last
again.
year. I was
Give it a rest.
vain enough to Google myself on
There's
Reddit.
not much time left. Come with me.
I was pleased to see that the Danganronpa subreddit actually recommends one of my
Please, Ryoko.
videos. I think it recommends Ultra Despair Girls.
Stop
I'm
trying
like,
to
hey,
confuse me.
I appreciate any support that they give me. I still do not support their environment.
No way. Just when I thought we could meet again, he's in love with someone else.
Who's there?
He just shoots blindly. Careful, it is fast on the trigger.
Iori Fuyusaka. Are you alone? What are you doing here?
Well, I wanted to see if this was all just a dream. And I guess it was.
In any case, you shouldn't be here. Go back to your sector. Guess I'll send you myself.
Wow, that was it? Wow, that was nothing. That was just, he loves another girl. Just in case this wasn't high school drama enough. Alright, I say we... Let's do one more with Iori, and then we'll do a battle and call it a day. Have a good night, Maestro. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Appreciate you.
Miwako's taking a while. She said she had some papers to deliver, right? To the art room, I
Hold on, where's this? Alright.
think? Yeah.
Because see, when I see something like this where I see branches, I get nervous, but then you start realizing that all, you know, kind of all roads lead to Rome, so it's not that bad. Organizing is not that bad overall. Sorry, I yawned there.
What's up, Iori? You look bummed.
Huh? I'm fine.
Are we waiting for her or something?
We're going to Tsutsuchi today, right?
Miwako did say she wanted to stop by the record store.
She wants that new Idol album, right?
There she is.
Sorry to keep you waiting. You know what? I saw Natsuno-chan just now, but...
Hey, the bus is here.
Ah, that's probably critical.
Save it for later.
You could just talk on the bus. That was a very authentic bus sound.
The sun's already gone down.
It's because you were waiting on me. I'm sorry.
When I was first attending college, I did not have my own car at the time. I was borrowing my sister's car. And so I ended up taking public transportation a lot. I mastered the fine art of falling asleep while either standing up or, you know, perfectly positioned next to a stranger while sitting down without like slumping over or anything like that. And mastering just falling asleep for precisely the amount of time it took for me to arrive to my stop. Got it down to a fine science.
Sorry, Miwa-chan.
Part art.
You couldn't even get the record you wanted.
I can't believe all 3 stores were sold out.
Debershi, can't believe this game didn't win Best Narrative in the Game Awards. I mean, from what I can tell, this is probably one of the most interestingly written narratives I've seen all year. Because my Game of the Year choice was Final Fantasy VII Remake, but in terms of the overall story quality, there are a lot of games that are better than it, but to me it's the overall package, since we're picking Game of the Year. This, in terms of story at least, blows all the other candidates out the water. But, you know, it's editor's choice, and so nobody was going to vote for it because almost nobody bothered playing it. Criminal shame. It's like the Oscars. Here's the one that's weird to me, though. Best Director. Because that's like an Oscars thing. What do you qualify as Best Director in a video game? We're slightly getting into rant category now, but whatever. This is what happens whenever you stay late at the very end. So, in the film industry, at least, where we think of Best Director, the director is the creative side of things. It's not like the producer. The producer is like the administrative side of things. In the game world, I don't know how different that is. I know it's pretty much still the producer, the administrative side of things. So when people talk about, the director shouldn't have like gone for crunch and stuff like that, it's not necessarily the director's fault. That's more the producer's fault. So whoever's the producer needs to be blamed for management problems like pacing, budgeting, things like that, because that's kind of their field. The director kind of marries the development side of things to the creative side of things and also does a little bit of that pseudo-management. That's kind of what the director does. So how do you really rate that? You know, how does one define accomplishing a creative vision and marrying the elements of gameplay with engagement, with story, with entertainment, with appeal, while also, you know, being the type of game that can also be financially successful and establish a brand. Like, how do you define success in that? It is so ambiguous. I kind of wish they didn't create that category, because it just seems foolish, especially since in the Oscars they recognize all of the disciplines, like art design, you know, music, producer, director, you know, writer, things like that. Well, they don't do that in the game ones. You know, we don't talk about best writer, we talk about best narrative. That's not necessarily best writer. We talk about best music, not best, like, you know, orchestrated piece, because it's teams that make this sort of stuff. It's not just one composer. So where do you really draw the line? I think the best thing they should have done was just take that incredibly vague thing out and put it with something else. Not something goofy like some people's like, we should have a best shotgun category. I mean, whatever. Not every game has to have a shotgun. Some people may politely disagree, but that's simply a matter of taste. And there's no accounting for taste. You picked Hades? I have not played Hades yet. I think I'm going to play Hades on my own in this coming month, and then write a review on it. I really want to see if it's... because unfortunately I've tainted myself. I've listened to all this hype, but I want to see if it lives up to it. The next one I'll play on stream is Ghost of Tsushima, because I was also nominated for Best Game. And apparently won the Player's Choice, which I disagree with, because that seems to be the PlayStation's choice, is really what that category ended up being, which I think was just a joke.
You gonna call? Yeah.
Where are we going? Aren't we going to that store you wanted, Niwiko? Aren't we here because of you?
You gonna call? Hi, Dad. It's me. Uh-huh.
Who you gonna call?
How'd it go? Pretty much how I thought. He wants me to come home ASAP. Figures. The train's probably fastest. Oh.
Is that Wajima again?
What's wrong?
Of course it is. Watch him just be an actual program as well, Niwiko, who's just there to be security.
Oh, yeah. It's the bully from before. I thought so.
Brooks chose Hades, played an intense amount of roguelikes since the first time I stood out in a while. I don't play that many roguelikes or roguelites, because I really don't give a flip about that discussion. When people get so overly anal, like, excuse me, it is not a roguelite, it is not a roguelike. Rogue fits this very specific criteria from 1980 whatever that is completely irrelevant to modern day standards of design. Almost like nothing ever evolves. Yeah, whatever. Nobody gives a flip about your incredibly outdated dinosaur definition of a game term. Like, nothing evolves. Like, this art doesn't change. Whatever. People don't speak modern English either compared to old English, so whatever.
What about him?
But I play a few, so I won't be necessarily reviewing it from the context of that. I think I'm just going to review it from, hey, you know what, just being straight, I only play a few roguelites and roguelikes,
Got harassed?
and this is my impression.
Dude, everything okay?
You can still be, you know, you can still have an impression upon itself. You can still compliment or comment a game about its overall production value, presentation, direction, writing, cohesion, artistic consistency, creative vision, dialogue, character development, plotline, progression. There's a lot of things you can talk about. You don't necessarily have to be like, how many roguelikes/roguelikes have you played? Unless you've played at least 50 that have been recognized by the official, you know, congressional electoral college, then unfortunately you're just not qualified to talk about this discussion. I'm just gonna have to honestly disqualify you.
Come to think of it, I've seen a few guys like him. They've been hanging around our school lately.
But Ghost was really good? I'll determine that, Dr. Fate. I am curious, though.
Let's go around, Yuri-chan.
I remember last year, we were like, wow, it's going to be so many samurai games. We're going to get Sekiro, Nioh 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. Wow. I wonder what it's going to be like with this year of the samurai.
Let's go.
She's like a dash. Oh, we can go far.
What school are you from? Didn't they tell you not to roam around after dark?
Who's this geezer?
I'm Heizo Onishi, Police Force, Juvenile Division.
Uh-oh.
You may know me better as Onishi the Ogre.
He's gonna take us into custody.
Judging from the uniform, you're from Sakura High. It's 8 o'clock. What are you doing out at this hour?
Brooks, gonna have to call my friend and tell him you're quoting his roguelike grants. Now, was he arguing for it, or was he arguing against it? Because I'm arguing against it. I think the people that get overly anal about trying to over-marginalize and pigeonhole video games into really stupid labels that they don't understand themselves creates a lot of unnecessary confusion. And this is from somebody who does play hundreds of RPGs. That's something I can claim.
It's dangerous for young
I played
girls like
hundreds
you
of
to be out on the
RPGs,
streets at
and
night.
not just from the same
The
publisher.
reason doesn't matter.
And I really hate it when I see people online who's like, I just don't like RPGs. It's like,
Hurry on home.
where did it come off like any video game where it's like, I just don't like shooters? There's so many shooters. There's first-person shooters, third-person shooters, tactical shooters, cover-based shooters, corridor shooters, just multiplayer-only shooters. There's so many different types of shooters. The core mechanic there is, of course, you are shooting something primarily. Why are you just over-rationalizing stuff?
Does this mean we're juvenile delinquents?
Why do you look so happy about it?
He's played 1,000 hours of Dwarf Fortress. Whatever. I mean, who cares? So what?
Let's hurry home, Yuri-chan.
Yeah.
I want to let him know that his vote counts just as much as some dude who's played 10 hours of Dwarf Fortress. It's just as valid, believe it or not, because there isn't some imaginary certification badge of correctness based on how much you've played.
Just hurry up and go home.
Well, well.
Yo, cop, help me out
So
here.
we meet again. It must be destiny. Come with me. I'll show you a good time. I know the perfect place.
Yo, cop, what are you doing? There we go.
Onishi the Ogre.
Don't tell me. You're up to no good again.
I haven't done anything. Yet.
Run along home. Or would you rather come with me?
Damn it.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, people who like to gatekeep others based on some false sense of qualification are a joke. No offense if that relates to anybody.
Get away with this. The police are on their way.
I just can't stand it when I play a game. It's like, oh, you've only played this game for 100 hours? Oh, that's not even the end game. The real end game is after you play 300 hours. Like, dude, get the F over yourself. Because you're right, trading your precious lifetime for devoted to like a stupid video game. Like, let's be real, all video games are just fun entertainment things. They do not matter in the grand scheme of things. And people who think it just put on this untouchable pedestal, man, you need a reality check.
Get it, Wajima-san?
No.
I consider myself a man who minds
Hey,
his
always
own
with that
business,
dramatic entrance.
but I can't abide by this. You need to leave those girls alone. Get out of here. Now.
Who the hell are you? Another poser, huh?
Another poser, huh? I bet you've only played 10 hours of Dwarf Fortress. You're not like me who's played 1,000 hours of Dwarf Fortress. I'm somebody who's qualified to really talk about roguelites. Get out of here, poser. Not a real gamer. Get wrecked.
Oh, damn it! This bastard's a boxer.
A tad rusty.
Yeah, like same thing for Monster Hunter World. Like, you're only Hunter rank like 70? Dude, don't you know that real Hunter rank soft cap is rank 200? Dude, get good. It's like, it's... That's the thing about it. Is like in Monster Hunter, it's a skill-based game, so the amount of time you spend on something is not indicative of that. You can spend 1,000 hours in Monster Hunter and still be like low rank, because it like what you spend time on is completely up to you. It's skill-based. Like a really good player can go through and just breeze through the game on base equipment. And people who have that false equivalency just don't get it. Like, if you're proud of what you did, great, but at the same time, come on, man. Like, don't use that as, like, trying to weaponize it as somebody who, like, it doesn't care.
Thank you. But why?
Mere coincidence.
You're lying.
I'm gonna go ahead and extend that to people who think they're badass for playing a game on, like, the most extreme level. And dying thousands of times just to beat a level, and then claiming they're somehow better than other gamers because of this stupid feat of patience and unforgiving precision that the game demands of you. It's like, oh, so you let a game waste your time because of its unnecessarily and unforgiving nature. Okay, whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm good at video games. No, you're good at having your patience wasted by a singular challenge.
Anyway,
That requires a minutia window of success. That's what you're good at, is you are extremely patient. For that I can compliment you. But you are not in any way, shape, or form good at, quote unquote, all video games.
School he goes to.
Like, take your amazing badass, oh, I'm so good at these Souls games, or like shit like that. That's the modern example, but truth is that sort of stuff's been around forever. Like in the early 90s, like that sort of beat 'em up, or like games where, oh, you can survive an arcade level through without even losing a single life. That was the real challenge. Oh, I'm a real gamer. Wow, aren't you badass? Everyone step back. You don't want to get yourself cut on this guy's edginess.
That's right, Tosen. What? I wonder where he is now. I might never see him again. If I
Chase after him.
don't run after him, I know I'll regret it. Even if he turns me down, I have to tell him how I feel. Sorry, guys.
We got a runner. Blam, blam, blam.
It has to be him. He's nearby.
Kalam, I will say the player community I found in Monster Hunter has been really nice. I mean, I would agree with you. I don't really feel that many people are the quote-unquote get good types, the snobby, like, elitist assholes. You really don't run into too many. Most people are very, very friendly. I almost never ran. I was a solo hunter primarily. I only was multiplayer either for raids because I had to, or I would specifically help lower level hunters if they put out an SOS call. I liked helping lower level hunters, but unfortunately nobody ever really helped me. So I just had to get good when I was fighting through as a solo hunter. That's probably how I'll beat for Rise again. Probably gonna end up playing it by myself. And the only time I'll ever play with other people is when I'm going on my way to help somebody else. It's not gonna be him.
Hey,
Yep.
Oh,
Too easy.
sorry. I thought you were someone else.
Yeah, people think, like I said this before, but all Dark Souls is just a modern day representation of old school design mentalities that you would find in, like what you said right there, Brooks, Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, even Donkey Kong. It's like, that's all that it is. It's just patience, precision, identifying patterns, and then executing it. That's all it is. And then punishing. Punishing failure, or punishing sloppiness or impatience. That's all it is. That stuff was very common in early 90s games, especially arcade games. It's just not very common now, so it stands out.
Is that guy looking
But it really is no different. People who speedrun Mario Brothers have the same level of skill as people who speedrun Dark Souls, conceptually. You're doing fundamentally the same thing. That's right, we never did figure out who the person in the line was.
There you are.
He's forgotten.
Were you following me?
I wanted to tell you something.
Don't. If you're seen with me, the men in black suits will go after you too.
Black suits?
I'm being hunted. Do you get it? Now go home. All right?
Oh. So that man I saw over there.
I've got you now. Damn it. Let go of me. Don't even think of drawing your gun here.
Watch this. Ow.
Watch this. This is what's called a pro gamer move.
Look out.
You're not getting away, Sekigahara.
Just run! Forget about me!
Is this girl with you?
No.
The hell's going on here?
Perfect timing. Give me a hand.
So women and children are fair game, huh?
What?
I don't stand for that, buddy.
Arrived at destination.
Over here. Get on.
Right.
Dark Souls' design philosophy also matches its narrative, or so I've been told.
The girl.
That's an interesting statement,
She seemed to be associated
because its
with the Men in
narrative
Black.
is deliberately
Did you
environmental.
recognize her?
It's told
No,
with
it was too
suggestive
dark.
environmental cues and lore sequences
You might wanna
that you have to
hold
go
on
out
a
of your way
little
to
tighter.
either discover or
You're gonna fall.
read. It doesn't tell it over its story. It doesn't certainly
Where do you
believe in
live?
common
I'll take you
exposition.
home.
It's now or never.
And it also leaves a ridiculously large amount of gaps, so
I know
very
this is
few
sudden,
things are actually confirmed. It
but
leaves a lot to speculation.
I need to tell you.
I wouldn't say that's reflective of its gameplay design.
I love you.
I can't hear you.
This
What?
all of a sudden?
What'd you say?
Some kind of prank from this era?
It's not a prank! I know. You already have Shinonome-senpai. It's probably awkward to hear this from me. But even if it ends up breaking my heart, I just needed to tell you. I needed you to know how I feel.
There seems to be a misunderstanding. Ryoko-san is not my girlfriend.
Huh?
I spent a lot of time alone back home. Parents weren't around. So she stepped in. Looked after me like a big sister. She's family to me. In that sense, I do care for her. I want her to be happy. That's all.
You mean it?
So you're saying there's a
Middle
chance.
school was a rough time for me. Haven't heard a thing about love since I was a kid. Until now, that is.
So she's not his girlfriend after all.
You know, it seems the two of us are bound by fate. What would you do if I told you I'm an assassin from the future who came here to kill you?
Just throwing it
wouldn't
out there.
matter. I would still love you.
A guy whose name you don't even know?
Well, yeah.
You feel that strongly, huh? Didn't see that coming. My name is A. Sekigahara.
A Sekigahara.
Ah, that's right. She never learned his name this time.
So, I haven't heard a no.
Let's get you home. Don't follow me again, alright? I'll be in touch.
Okay.
I'll be in touch when I grab you from behind and slit your throat because I'm actually truly an assassin from the future.
All right.
Alright, so the final one of her will be later. Let's... It's already pretty late. We'll save this battle for tomorrow. I know we only had like one battle today, but it's pretty late. Especially since there's so few battles left, I want to kind of almost space them out, because we still have a lot more to go here. How much of this matrix do we have? There's a gap right there, another gap. Wow, a lot of this later stuff. Look at this gap. Look at this gap. All this finale stuff right here. They're saving the end to be super big. And yeah, this is final battle stuff. So the part where he lost his memory and reclaimed his smart bike was after this event. That makes sense. I almost feel like going in linear order will actually make it tragic in a different way, because we're going to see a lot of people like this who are going to like say things and do things and they're immediately shot and they forget everything. And it's kind of sad that way. Brooks, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Glad you can catch a stream. Been watching for years. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I never understood what keeps people coming back to watching my videos, but I appreciate it every time all the same. I'm just not going to question it and just keep making stuff. I'm probably one of the most out of touch YouTubers out there. Where it's like, I just make stuff and people watch it. I don't know what the hell they like about it. I barely talk to my audience. That's why I like streaming. Because it provides me a chance to talk to people in such a candid way. Because I don't present myself in any of my videos. My videos are sanitized of me. Other than my fun little play on words that I have with references, jokes, alliteration, things like that, where I can inject a little bit of myself in there. It's primarily not me. So I'm not a personality-driven channel, so for any time that I get to actually kind of talk to people and learn more about the people that actually watch my stuff and apparently enjoy it, to me, that to me is more fascinating. Because then I can actually have somebody to talk to about the stuff I'm interested in. One of the things that sucks about recently moving to a new spot is that, and this isn't bad to all my friends out there, you know, like Shadows and the rest of them, where it's like, you have like your old set of friends, but then you have like new friends that you're probably supposed to make, or at least reach out to and meet new people when you're in a new area, and I haven't done that yet because of obviously COVID. I said the C word, don't demonetize me. Just kidding, this entire stream's not monetized anyway. But because of the pandemic, I haven't really gone out to meet new people, so kind of mostly pretty lonely. So it's a fun release. You don't realize how much you miss talking to people even as an introvert when you don't do it for months at a time. Thank you so much for enjoying my scripts, by the way. I appreciate that. I like to think I'm getting a little bit better every single time, but we'll see. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, I may or may not have the new recapitation ready for Valkyrie Profile 2. If it's not ready by tomorrow, it'll very, very, very likely be done in on Thursday. We're just on post-production. So you guys can enjoy your New Year's Eve stuff, and I'll probably post this sometime in the afternoon. But thank you so much for watching. We are getting very close to the end of 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Most people are around the 80% mark on the story. We only have like 4 more battles left, and a lot of revelations coming in soon. So thank you everyone for coming in and listening to my rants. Thank you everyone who supports the video and jumping on the stream. We will do one more tomorrow night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next battlefield.